Hello, Spinsters! What is going on, everybody? And welcome to Spin from the Real, a Schmoedown reaction show. My name is Chris Anthony Lopez. It's right there, down at the bottom. It is a Wop Boy summer over here in Oklahoma and all around the country because Lord knows it's hot as hell. But joining me today, he is he's a man that you've seen on this channel before multiple different times. We do a little show with him on pay-per-view evenings called Schmo Me the Real. He is one half of the guys over at Schmo Me the Money. And some people call him Quiz Show. I call him Jeff Show. His name is Jeff Alterman. Jeff, what's going on, brother?
What's up? I walked in right before we started. I was just out to dinner with my wife and her dad. We walked into Center City, Philly. It turned out the whole street of restaurants we wanted to look at, it was closed for like road work. So, and like everything was closed on the street. So then we're like, all right, fine. We can go walk 15 blocks in the other direction to go go to Chinatown. So I literally just walked back from that. I hadn't moved all day, and then I had to walk all around Philly in 95-degree heat. So, you know, always comfortable, super comfortable. Somehow I went from like no steps today to 6,000 steps in the last, So,
but I mean, I'm glad. I mean, earlier you had mentioned in one of the group chats we were part of that you were going to get dinner with your wife and with her father. And you were talking about how you're going to do a show tonight with the Village Idiot. And I'm so glad you came. And,
no. I said an asshole. You said no, the asshole comes later.
Yes.
You're the Village Idiot.
Yeah, the asshole should be popping up in a little bit on the show. But we are going to be joined by guests who are not jerks in any way, shape, or form. Paige Frabetti will be joining us in about 10 to 15 minutes. And we're hoping that we'll be joined by Jesse Swift. I know some things came up on his end, but we're praying for my brother. We're hoping that we can talk to him tonight. But before we talk about the matches from this past week, like Christian Harloff just spontaneously decided to go live on Facebook and drop like hella scoops on just the tournaments coming up, what we should be expecting over Schmoedown over the next few months. Nothing too crazy past, like at least in regards to spectacular. But what's going on? Brandon in the chat, what's going on, brother? Happy to see you. Corey Cameron in the chat. At least Quiz Show responds to Chris. Thank you.
What does that mean?
It's a nice change of pace. Because when I do shows and I'm here just, you know, just doing my whole spiel, there'll be a nice pause once I'm done. Like a nice pause. So that's what Corey's referring to. He's referring to my co-host. Don't listen to me. That's what it is. Show will not be joining us this week. My man is recuperating. There's some stuff going on in the personal side of things that he wanted to take care of. So by all means, all power to him. Right, and he's gonna give my man a break. And Matt Thomas,
the asshole will be here in half an hour.
Yes, the asshole will be here in about 30 minutes or so. He'll be here when Paige Frabetti joins us in about 10 minutes. But we got some news, and it's a plethora of news. I mean, whether it's Star Wars tournament first round matchups that are awfully exciting, who's competing for who in the singles tournament, and we got the really not movie trivia related, but the mandatory vaccinations that have to be done for the Scum and Villainy shows in a couple weeks, over the next couple weeks. Yes. And I know, again, Christian said it in his thing, and I don't want to be that political show either, but y'all, let's be safe. Especially, like, I want to meet Jeff at Spectacular later this year. I would love to do that. To do that. But, you know.
Get your arm stabbed a few times.
Right. It's just twice, or sometimes in one case,
Yeah, just Johnson & Johnson. They went from the shampoo conditioner to the 2-in-1 vaccine. They got a niche, and it's working.
Don't question it. I think we're all good. But I'm a Pfizer boy. Pfizer gang for life.
Same. You heard about it though, right? Pfizer's for hot people, so we're good.
Yes, Pfizer is for hot people. You're damn right.
My father-in-law, he got Moderna. Fuck him.
But you know what? Vaccinations aside, the one really cool piece of news that we got that at least a lot of us popped for, I know once we heard it, we're finally getting Damon versus Damon in the Star Wars tournament. First round. They're not making us wait. And Christian's like, oh man, just, you know, how records panned out. It's like, nah, dude, you wanted this. We all wanted this.
Yeah. Well, look, on the one hand, yes, we did want it. We did want to see it. But on the other hand, when it comes to records, Molly did just lose, so she's going to go into a tournament. Damon lost the belt, but then he already had an immediate challenge for the belt again.
Right.
So we can't be like, all right, well, the next thing I guess is the number one contender. No. It's fine. Put him in a tournament. And yes.
I bet he wants to. And I bet he wants to.
He wants to be able to be like, all right, fine. Let me get more. Look, the stars aren't coming back from where they are by the end of the year. I mean, they're going to make some sort of impact with some of the players, but they're not going to get up to the top. It's just like the math, like the kind of thing would have to happen would have to be like every single team would have to lose every fucking match they have. And it's not possible when those teams are playing other teams. Someone has to win. So
right. It's a rough spot. And we'll talk about the stars.
Yeah.
Right. We'll talk about the stars later because they had a match this past week. And yeah, talk about a rough one for the stars. This past week wasn't so kind to them. William Harold in the chat. What's going on, brother? Pfizer for life. Pfizer gang, baby. And please be a single cam match for Damon versus Damon. That'd be fun. That'd be interesting.
That'd be hilarious. But what about like they're not going to do that. They have their own camera.
No. Yeah, they're not going to do that. Now, sitting next to each other and not too far from each other, that's going to be cute. They can be yelling down the hall from one another, talking their shit. But, it's going to be fun. Damon versus Damon, round one matchup, probably maybe one of the opening matchups of the Star Wars tournament. Because we did get a schedule, at least for next week, I believe, and what we have going on that's been floating around. But I didn't see, unless I misread it, there was no Star Wars.
There's no Star Wars. There's a reason why there's no other Star Wars at the moment. There's no Star Wars currently filmed. There's no Star Wars in the can. The only Star Wars that's in the can right now is the one that'll be premiering on Saturday at Collision. That's different though. Right.
Like next week, and I know we'll get to these way later in the show, but we're getting Horowitz and Jen Kempe this upcoming Friday, our first singles tourney action. We're going to be getting Collision this weekend. We'll talk about Collision, we'll talk more about what we're doing for Collision way later in the show. We're getting Merle Irwin amongst a plethora of other shows, or other matches, I should say, at the Scum and Villainy Cantina. Parker Swift, that's coming next week. Bibiani Blunden, holy shit. Paramo and Frabetti,
you know why they did a Bibiani Blunden, right? Now when I say no, I mean to say like you can make a good guess. This isn't like some sort of insider information type knowledge thing. It's you have one of the greatest players that's ever played the game in Bibiani versus a very strong upstart rookie.
One match.
Blunden. He's played one match and he lost, but it's only because Jacoby went perfect. And then I believe Jacoby went perfect that time.
I believe so as well.
And then he was a killer in free for all. The only reason why they probably did that was it's probably like, man, we want Blunden to go far, but we don't want to have to pay to travel outside of Australia.
It's a far trek. It's a far trek for some movie trivia.
Captain Morgan, sponsor Blunden's flights.
Yeah, big love to Captain Morgan. I know I'm not drinking any Captain right now, so I'll cover up my thing. But big love to Captain Morgan. Yo, now Collision's free for everybody. Spectacular. Hopefully it'll be free for everybody.
Amaru right there. Yeah. A big suspects filled week. Yeah. And then big Collision.
Yeah.
Very excited to see how you do, man. It's gonna be exciting for sure.
I'm stoked to see you, Amaru, against Saul this upcoming Saturday. Yeah, at Collision. What's up, Jess in the chat? Sending so much love. Right back to you. You already know. Right back to you. Emmanuel Moses in the chat. Left side. You already know, Bubba. Hell yeah. But we had a lot of fun stuff going on in the Schmoedown. We got some confirmations of Inner Geekdom tournament and who's going to be representing the respective factions. And speaking of Moses, if he loses to Saul this upcoming Collision, then he will be the representative for the Usual Suspects. And speaking of the Usual Suspects, I think we said their names too many times. But then if Saul loses, then I believe it's who is it? Who is he part of the Den? So it would be Goddard, correct?
Yeah. If Saul wins, Goddard goes into the IG tournament. If Saul loses,
that's what it is.
It will be Saul. We know because we had Peggy on our most recent episode, I believe, on here. Show me the real, baby. Where Peggy said what everyone already knew, which is Saul if he loses, and Ben Goddard or Saul wins. And it sounds like what the deal will be is if Amaru wins, it's going to be Ethan Irwin. That was something that Christian dropped earlier. And if Amaru loses, obviously he's going to go in because, I mean, like,
why would you not?
Ain't no two ways about it, man. You're not going to be like, yeah, it would be a great choice for our tournament entry, Jacob Whitnaven.
Sheesh, and we'll get there. We'll get there when we get there. Like, hopefully, Jesse will be able to join us in that discussion.
I just want to make sure I make it the easiest, nicest way possible. But
yeah, and I think you said it. You said it as nice as you can. But Amaru said it in the chat not too long ago. It's a big week for the suspects. I mean, they got Nikki DeMolanta making her Schmoedown debut. I believe the match is already up, or the match is going up today on Patreon. It will be public on Wednesday. We have Lightning Time on Thursday against the Danger Zone. Yeah. And then
I'm just talking strategery here. I'm not trying to speak down. Anyways, let's keep going.
Yeah, no, Amaru. Like it's strat. It's all strat. That's what it is.
It's all strat.
But really piggybacking off of that point, the suspects themselves had a great week last week because they got to pick up a W. And this lady had her first W in the Movie Trivia Schmoedown this past Wednesday against Rachel Silvestrini. And it was a big deal, big pop over here at Spin from the Reel and at Schmoe Me the Reel and at Schmoe Me the Money because we're a big fan of her. We love her over here on these shows. And her name is the Boston Badass Paige Frabetti.
Hey.
The Boston Badass. What's going on, Paige? Love the shirt.
Oh, thank you. Kudos to Matt. I'll say that.
Big love to that asshole, Matt Thomas. Yeah. But what's going on, Paige? How you feeling?
Feeling good off that win, that's for damn sure. I gotta stay focused. I'm assuming you guys saw the little snippet news that dropped. That
we'll get to that. We'll get to what you got going on.
Journey, baby.
You're making moves. You're out here making some moves. But first of all, like we said, congratulations on your W. And after that, great. One of the better rookie matches of the year against Peggy Gubbins that you had not too long ago. We've been clamoring for more for Betty. Clamoring for it. We wanted more Boston Badass.
Glad it finally happened. Thank God. I hope you guys aren't sick of me yet, because goal is to stick around in this tourney as long as possible. So
jury's out on that, but yeah.
I mean, you are going up against friend of the show, Jada Paramo. We had him on last week. Really nice guy. Really sweet dude.
I know, right? He's so nice. And I'm just like, I gotta be mean. I'm intimidating the hell out of him. Sorry, Jada.
But when you found out you were going against Silvestrini, what was the thought process? Like, another lady, and I know some folks in the space aren't too big of a fan of having the ladies play one another. But this was just, circumstance. And I bet there's some scheduling things and maybe you're scheduled to face somebody else, but that's besides the point. You found out you were playing Silvestrini. What was your thought process?
For me, it's just like, give me whoever the hell you guys want. I'm getting all of the den, so let me just take them out one by one, I guess. Exactly. That's the game plan. No, for me, though, I was excited, nervous. For me, going into this match, I think I was more nervous than my first one, because my first one, I was just like, all right, I just want to play well, win or lose. This one, I was like, I have to win. I can't go 0-2, because I probably will not get another chance the rest of the season. Even no matter what, how much work I'm putting in, you don't know what can happen. So for me, it was just like, I got to put the work in right now, even though I've already been putting the work. And I was like, I have to be able to prove to myself and to everyone in my faction that I'm meant to be here. So for me, I was just like, I'm sorry, Rachel. I got to make you 0-4 because there's no way in hell I'm going 0-2 this season. So
she really just take her back and just, put her down.
Though. I do love her though. But when they say let's get
Rachel's a lovely person. Yeah.
You're my enemy.
Rachel is lovely, great person to talk to, and it sucks just to see that happen over and over. I mean, how many people are big fans of Adam Witt, right?
That too,
Same thing.
Right, and Adam Witt, one of the most likable guys in the entire Schmoedown. My man has not won a Star Wars match.
Yeah,
but
or a teams match,
or a teams match,
or anything.
Or managing style, who knows?
But he's killing the editing game. He's killing that for sure. But Paige, I couldn't help but when I was watching your match and you went perfect in your first round, absolutely killed it. Love seeing it. But then that second round came along, and I remember one of the last times I got to see you. we were on this little show called For Chris's Sake, available wherever you find your podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that jazz. But we talked about a director that, Jeff, and we'll talk a little more about that later. But Jeff, she was on to talk about this guy, this nobody. Yeah. His name was Quentin Tarantino, right?
That guy, right?
Yeah. It's just some scrub, this new guy to movies. Yeah. But Paige really liked some of the movies that he's done, I guess. And that guy. And she spun him because, that's just what happens.
Yeah. I wanted Lucasfilm, but...
But you absolutely slayed.
Go deep on Willow. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Rachel also went perfect with Lucasfilm. Like, no slight to Rachel. Rachel played great in this match. But you getting Tarantino, I'm like, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Like that. The second you got it, I'm like, well, shit. I'm like, I felt, again, that's the feeling of like, I feel bad for Rachel Silvestrini because she's about to catch this L for sure now. If the jury wasn't out after that first round, that Tarantino spin, that you must have felt the biggest sigh of relief getting Tarantino.
Not gonna lie, I definitely did. I mean, did I put it on there? Who knows? But when I got it, I was just like, well, I love these man's films, so let's see what I can do with them. Like, so, I mean, let's be honest. I don't really like Tarantino. I like Reservoir Dogs. That's about it.
Right, and you did get a Reservoir Dogs question, which I did. Yeah. I was sitting over here in my room.
I almost said Mr. Purple because I was thinking of you, and then I was just like, okay.
What was the question again?
I appreciate it.
Which one does Tim Roth play? That's Mr. Orange. Yeah, it's Tim Roth is Mr. Orange, and Mr. White is Harvey Keitel.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Mr. Brown is Tarantino, Pink is Buscemi, and Blonde is Madsen, right?
Yep.
And then
you're missing one more.
There's Mr. Who?
You got Mr. Blue too.
Mr.
Blue. Why am I blanking out on Mr. Blue?
The older gentleman.
Oh, the old guy. I was thinking of all
the old guy. He gets killed right away.
Right. Yeah, and then it's Nice Guy Eddie is what's his name? He died. I forgot his name.
Oh, you talking like the actor Chris Penn?
The actor Chris Penn. Yeah, that's it. I'm like, I was about to call him Jonah Hill, and I'm like, no. Jonah Hill before Jonah Hill.
It was. Oh my god, yeah, I've never even thought of that. Yep. 100%.
It's almost as if like Paige has seen this movie, and again, it's almost as if we talked about this on a podcast before, but that's besides the point. But you absolutely you wrecked it, right? And the second you spun Tarantino, you went perfect. You didn't miss in this match. Holy shit! You didn't even need your 5. Like that's always the goal. If you don't have to go for your 5, you definitely feel good. Because let's be honest, the 5 is definitely obviously the hardest question. I mean, I would have liked to answer it and gotten it right to be like, see guys, I went entirely perfect. But I mean, I'll take what I can get, and I'm glad the cards fell the way they did on my lap. It definitely makes me, I feel like, more nervous now because everyone's probably just like, can she do it again? And I mean, that's the game plan, is to try to do it again. So,
well, I think that it doesn't matter so much if you could do it again, because at the end of the day, it's you versus the questions. And hopefully you get them all right. Hopefully you don't, because think about it. In Collision, we got Shazam going again, and they're going to go up against Corruption. What did Shazam just do against Otter Couple, since we don't have like a real name for that group?
Otter Couple.
To be the first time in history that a team went all 5 rounds, including Fast Money, and they went completely perfect. 53 points. Perfect game. Yeah. And they didn't get any steals. It was just 53 points there. So they probably feel the same thing. Can they get true, yeah. So, and that's double the points that you had.
Yeah, that is.
So like, just look, you're going to go into Jader and you're just going to, doesn't fucking matter. Just
exactly. Game plan, me against the question. Kick ass, take names. Hopefully I can just get as many right as possible, and hopefully I can get more right than he does. So
yeah,
that's the game plan going into it. So just hoping for the best. I mean,
and
I'm big love.
Big love to Rachel Silvestrini too.
Oh yeah,
like it's not like she had a bad game by any stretch of the imagination.
That was definitely her best singles match, and she gave me a run for her. She gave me a run for her, like my money.
She did really well, and like, the 5-pointer was the 5-pointer, but outside of that, I mean, any other day. It's just the problem was that you went perfect.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how well you do when you miss something. It's been this constant thing that we've been seeing throughout the year in all the different divisions for all the top tier IG players, top tier Star Wars players. Anyone makes one small stumble, sometimes that's it.
Yeah.
And
honestly, it's so true. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that was my thing too. If I didn't go perfect, that match would have been either way, because she hit the average in round 1, getting 6 points. She went perfect in round 2. So that literally got me like shaking in my boots a little bit. And I was just like, all right, now I got to make moves. Hopefully I land on something that I know all the answers to. And thank God I knew all the questions, like all the answers to the questions I got. Like, man, thank God.
I mean,
lovely book behind me.
Yeah,
even though it doesn't talk about all of his films, it does. It helps that I like him a wee bit at least. So
we had a good feeling you like Tarantino. It's almost like like
just a wee bit. So
just a little bit.
Wee bit.
But I got all this. I keep grabbing all the same stuff. It's like we got the same things next to us.
Oh, we definitely do. Mine are alphabetized, but let me see what
hardcore. I have FOMO right now. I need to get the book.
I have a South Park.
Brown is down below. That might be kind of hard to grab.
What'd you say, Jeff?
I had a South Park toy next to me.
Let me see it. What is it?
Well, is it Cartman?
I want to see it.
You know what it is. You know what it is, Chris. You know what this is. It's the Coon Mobile.
It's the Coon Mobile.
Oh my God.
Yes. Love that.
It's the Coon Mobile.
Yep.
It came with the fractured butthole.
Yes.
That's pretty fancy.
And that was a toy time with Jeff Alterman.
Yeah.
So, Paige, I mean, I've seen you've been making rounds all over the Schmoedown space over the last few days because, I mean, you're a hot commodity. Because the second you go perfect to beat someone like Rachel Silvestrini in their match, like it's incredibly impressive to see something like that, especially from a rookie. And the fact, you took a loss to a more than valiant competitor in Peggy Gubbins, but you proved yourself proved more than enough to get that second match, and now you're out here already getting your third, which is absolutely wild. And I wanted to ask about that because, I mean, Amaru's hanging out in the chat. It's like, Paige. And my man's out here like, why are you putting Paige against all my non-suspect people? Because, that's a buddy. We
do it just to piss you off, Rue, so I can just take them all out. That's the game plan.
Word. And, I mean, William Harold in the chat wants to see you play Bateman. Totally feasible. Totally.
It is. It can happen. Who knows?
We don't have a bracket yet, so we don't know how exactly how we can make that happen. But I feel like we do need to make that happen at some point. And before we start talking about the Paramo match and a little bit more, Leo Loken said that Eddie Bunker was Mr. Blue. Eddie Bunker was Mr. Blue from our conversation a little bit ago. Guy. Right, cool. Right. That dude. Leo Logan, what's up? That's my best friend in the chat. But the Jader Paramo match, how long after the Silvestrini stuff did you find out you're already having another match? That you're jumping right into the singles tournament?
From when it was announced to when my match was aired?
Not the you actually like airing the match, but like whenever you played against Silvestrini, how long was it before you found out, I'm representing the suspects in the singles tournament? Holy shit. And I'm facing Jader Paramo? Holy shit.
Probably like within like 2 weeks, I'd say. I mean, I was whispering in Sam's ear, like, get me in there. I want to wreck shop right now in the singles tournament. Like, get me in there. Like, and we have so many great competitors on the suspects that I would not have been mad because, no matter what, at the end of the day, I knew someone great was going to be the 4 members representing the suspects. I knew would do great anyways. But the fact that and it's so cute what Sam texted me. He literally was just like, so, Miss Paige, how do you feel about representing the suspects in the singles tourney? I was like, let me think about it real quick. Hell to the like I was so down, and it took probably like a week after that to know who I was playing after.
See, and I know Brandon in the chat.
Brandon's,
yes.
He is.
Go ahead, Jeff.
We were going to say the same thing there. Yeah. This is one of those things where like sometimes something's mentioned, and it was definitely weird because in those messages, in those posts, Christian very clearly defined what was in a tournament, what wasn't, and it's like in the middle, it's like, for Betty and Paramo, it's like,
They just forgot to put the quotations because they were so excited to release that match. So
I know, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And I think Jader had a reply to someone in the Facebook group in regards to this match, and he said it would be for the singles tournament. At least that's where I got the information.
Yep. Nope. It is.
You beat Silvestrini the way you do, and you said 2 weeks later you find out, all right, shit, let's run it back. Let's do it again. This time against Jader. What are your feelings with Jader Paramo? Are you cool with him? Are you a fan of him? Have you spoken to him? What's the relationship there?
I mean, everyone knows Jader. That man is such a sweetheart. So I feel He's so great. Bad that I'm going to have to make him use his EMT skills to have to resuscitate his own self when I kick his butt in the singles. So very nice guy though, but I know first aid and CPR too, man. I am certified, so I'll help bring you back to life after I beat you. So,
sheesh. And Jeff, do you know CPR? Am I the only person on screen that does not?
No. What'll happen is if someone needs CPR around me, they're dead.
Word. Okay.
So I know not to be alone with Jeff then.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that's just in general, but especially in that situation.
That's the only reason. That if you're choking and you pass out, you're dead.
But the Schmoedown this year, at least for you, Paige, you were sitting and waiting, but in the meantime, your suspects teammates are absolutely crushing it across the board. I know Amaru said earlier in the chat that it's a big week, and it's a big time to be a usual suspect because y'all were on a roll for a minute. Yeah, you had the hiccup with Liz Shannon Miller, but y'all are right back at it with your W. And now we're going to see her again this upcoming Thursday. We're going to see Amaru on Saturday in the collision match against Saul. What's the vibe within the suspects? Are y'all out here really feeling yourselves, especially after the last 2 months of play?
Oh yeah, and don't forget my girl Nikki's making her debut too in the Star Wars.
And Nikki DeMolante, you already know.
No, I think that's the great thing is we're on a roll now. We know each other so much and so well now that I feel like we're kind of all on the same cycle of what we all need to work on, what we need to do as a team to improve all of our gameplays and stuff. I know a lot of them give me praise for helping them out, but they all do the same for me too. And that's why I'm so happy where I fell on the suspects because if it wasn't for them, I probably would not have gotten that W against Rachel, let alone go perfect. So that all of that kudos goes literally to my manager and
my man needs CPR.
Yep. And to my faction. So
and the suspects so far, because I remember on this very show, probably a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, we're like, oh man, there are some factions who are not they're not doing too hot. And some of them may still be in those positions, but the suspects, y'all been really climbing up the ranks and racking up all them points and absolutely doing some kick-ass work in the process. Amaru in the chat. We got 3 squads on the path to a title. I'm heading towards a title shot. Ethan's getting that title, and Lightning Time is on the path to a shot. And if I beat Saul, Ethan beats Merle, and Lightning Time beats Danger Zone, people be scared. People scared. Yes. You were saying, John?
I mean, hey, no, I'm just to build off of that. That's it's a good thing to point out. Suspects earlier in the year weren't doing as hot overall, and they're coming back. But one of the biggest, it's happened with a couple of different factions. They all have that corruption thing where they're at the bottom and then they claw their way back. Do you remember when at one point in the year the Quirky Mercs were at -1 points?
That's what I'm saying. And what are they in third now?
And here's look, if they get just based off of who's playing this week, just based off of the points that we know right now, if they just have the title defenses, because they're at 35 points right now, I believe. According to what's on the websites or the standing Twitters that I follow, if they get both title defenses, that's 8 points because it's the 7 points for the title match, 1 extra point if they win. That's 16 points. Just that, if they win both of those, they went from -1 to first place. Usual
it's crazy.
Suspects are on the same. Usual Suspects are on the same trajectory. Like this is crazy. We're seeing all this stuff happen. It's why, and we don't know what'll happen after this year with the way the faction setups are going to be. But that's why you can never count out a group of players just based on the first 3-4 months of the year.
Yeah. 100%.
Word. And Amaru adding his 2 cents. Paige runs the tourney. Nikki gets a win. Frankie whoops on the Rager. Ooh, boy. And we'll be where the Mercs are. And that's some real stuff, Amaru. And just to clarify from a little bit earlier, I missed the comment part. Is yes, it's Danger Zone, not the Danger Zone.
No. Well, you're in the Danger Zone.
Yeah, I like articles. I think that's what it is. But
I do too. Read them all the time.
Exactly. Sometimes I write them for work, but
that's why we get Playboy.
Excuse me. But Schmoedown, movie trivia. So yeah, y'all been absolutely killing it. And this week we're gonna see a lot of folks. And you said your girl Nikki DeMolanta. Like, I know obviously the obvious with Andrew and all that fun stuff, but for you, we're presumably working with her firsthand. How excited should we be for Nikki DeMolanta? If you can indulge us.
I just want to say she is more than just a study partner for Mr. Andrew. That girl knows her stuff. How do you think her husband became a champ? Who do you think helped him? Her.
Word.
So all I'm going to say is I don't think people are ready for Nikki because I don't know if they know what's coming our way because that girl is a freaking genius. And just because it's taken this long, don't be sleeping on her, guys, because she's coming in and she's about to. I can't wait. She puts in so much work. She knows so much. She writes so many questions 24/7. She's even like, we have a study session on Wednesday, and she's always already like, I love writing questions. I'm gonna write you guys some singles questions. And I'm like, hell yeah! Like the girl puts in work. So I mean, I just can't wait for her to be able to debut and show what she knows. She's not just the wife to the champion. She's about to be one day. So
word. And I think that's where people are going to get it mixed up, right? Because like obviously with the with her husband being the Star Wars champion, it's going to be like, oh, like that is Andrew's wife. No, if anything, like he's her husband.
Exactly. That's exactly how it's going to be looked at. And that's how it should already be looked at. But
isn't it funny to see like the two most prominent married couples that are in the Schmoedown are both couples that are related to Star Wars belts and also like and then the wives also come in to be like, yeah, this is our domain now. And it's just like it's crazy. It's very it's fun to see like this very, very niche thing in the Star Wars division.
I think it's
married
so
couples can thrive.
Right. And
hopefully
it won't
make or break their relationships. But
the Damons, we'll see how that goes.
We'll see what Damon.
Well, there's going to be there might be some arguments in that household. If Molly beats Alex, holy shit. Everyone's brackets out the window and the stars. Oh god, that's a whole different thing for a whole different day. Oh, but the suspects have been on fire, and I mean, someone that we our next guest who will be joining us momentarily, he got to play one of your faction mates, Jacob Whitnabin, and Jacob. I mean, my man is coming in there 0-2, and after we got the confirmation from Christian not too long ago that if Amaru were to beat Saul and advance on his own title path to the Inner Geekdom belt, that Ethan Irwin will be the guy to jump into Inner Geekdom. What the hell? I mean, like, are y'all singles players within the suspects just like secretly really damn good at Inner Geekdom? Are we going to see you in Inner Geekdom anytime soon, Paige?
Never say never. Let's just leave it at that. Never say never. But that's the thing. Us suspects, we try to be so well rounded that. Anything is possible, guys.
Yeah, you know that she would absolutely do a Tarantino Star Trek movie. She would get all the answers right.
Hell yeah! Not a Star Trek fan. I'm a Star Wars girl. But if Tarantino directs it, you damn right I'm gonna know everything about Captain Kirk and all that nonsense. So it's Fox.
I love all that nonsense. Yes, because that's what it feels like in That's what it feels like in Star Wars nowadays. But our next guest actually put in our little chat here. We have Mara and Merle potentially being the dynamic duo in Inner Geekdom sometime soon. I know Merle's been teasing it forever now.
He keeps wanting to, and then he keeps winning the belt.
Right.
So what he can do is just hand the belt over to Ethan then, and then he can go have his little fun run in IG if he wants.
What he doesn't want to do is what Mike Kalinowski has done, which is like, I mean, and this is no sweat against Mike, because we know how great of a player he is in every division, but like he doesn't want to do something where he's stretching himself possibly thin across 3 divisions. Remember that time when it was like Mikey 3 belts, and then by the end of the year it was I think like Mikey no belts.
I mean, we saw that happen to Chance Ellison late last year.
Yeah.
Like my man was he was killing it within the singles tournament, got bounced, and he was in the team's title picture. He had the team's belt at one point. He lost that belt, and then he faced Chandru at Spectacular and lost in convincing fashion. It wasn't a bad match by any means, but it was a decisive victory. Something we don't typically see in Inner Geekdom nowadays. But with the whole multiple divisions thing, and all power to folks like Ethan, who we've only seen in teams and singles, and presumably Paige when she gets the teams, when she gets the Inner Geekdom, right? Like that's a conversation that obviously, and I bet Paige has had that conversation with Sam in regards to, yo, give me a teammate, give me a damn, who's sitting there? Drew McWeeny? Come on, we can go run some movie trivia. Like, come on now.
Man, we would take, we would rip shot, because I think we would balance each other out so damn nicely with like what our strengths are, that I think that would just be like a strong dynamic duo. I would honestly be a team with anyone on my faction. Like Amaru dude, like we would kill it, because I'd be like, dude, you know what, you pick an IG slice, and if we land on that, I'll just sit back and you can answer all the questions.
It's like, just run it. Yeah, just run it. And y'all can, and Amaru, I think we've had this discussion with Amaru saying that he's no stranger to wanting to do singles. I think he's expressed interest to it, at least to us. Obviously we're not in the suspect group chats. But I mean, here he is. Me and Paige Murder. There, that's harsh. Murder. It's the movie trivia, not murder trivia Schmoedown.
Hey man, look.
It
you
would
can
be
do whatever you want during the purge. It's fine.
Yeah, you know what? Right. And shout out to Mike Deacon in the chat. I see you, brother. Oh look, it's Jabroni Jeff. Does he call you a J-Bron? Is that what it is?
No, he calls me a jabroni.
Yeah,
he
a
does
J-Bron.
this anytime I'm on screen. He comes on to whichever one, whatever stream I'm on, just to rip me a bit, like with his most recent comment that he just
said. Like, please put that one up.
Like how you'd rip your asshole in the bathroom after Taco Bell. Is that what he said? Like
why would you think I would ever do that in a Taco Bell? I wouldn't. I thought
just it was in the bathroom.
After, not in a Taco Bell bathroom. I hope you're not using those restrooms.
Yeah. Shout out to Jesse in the chat. Dyke Meekin. Jesus, Jesse. we need to cool with that language, Jesse.
Yeah. No. Michael is a lesbian. You need to use the proper term.
Wait a minute. Guys, bring it back. Well, we appreciate you, Mike Deacon, for coming in. But Paige, before we let you go, before we bring on our second guest of the day, I mean, you're freaking killing it, and I know all of us here, we're such big fans of you, and I know, and we have this thing going on this Saturday that I don't know if you're busy, but we may be doing a little thingy on Show Me the Money's channel, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, hit me up. You guys,
we'll holla at you.
You guys are like my homies for life.
You have an open invite to whenever we do our show.
You still gotta send her the damn link.
I mean, you gotta send me the link. You guys almost forgot to do that today.
I send her the link almost every time if I don't forget.
Right, but
and I hope you'll never forget me now.
Oh, hell no. You go perfect in your match. You don't even need your damn 5. You beat Rachel Silvestrini, a proven commodity in this league. Like, yeah, she may not have a singles dub, but in her team's matches, she's proved more than capable of doing what she's doing. And like what Paige said, like, this is her best singles match, and Paige had to go perfect to beat her. Who knows if that 5 would have tripped Paige up or not? But we'll never know, because she didn't know,
and I'm okay with it because I walked away a happy lady. So
exactly. Paige, you already know we love you. Thank you so much for coming on Spin from the Reel. I know you've been a busy lady the last few days, hopping on all the shows, but again, like we all love you, all the fans love you, and we'll chat with you very, very soon.
Oh yes, stay tuned, guys, because August 6th, it's going down.
She's playing Jader.
Stay tuned. Ooh, ooh. I'm sorry, Jader. You're gonna have to resuscitate yourself. So yeah.
All right, Paige, we'll chat.
All right, bye, guys. Thank you guys so much.
No doubt about it, Paige. Paige Frabetti, everybody. Paige Frabetti on the program. Gotta love Paige. If you don't like Paige, what? How? Like, seriously, genuine question. Damn it. I just thought of a question to ask her. But I'll ask you this, Jeff. Does it bug you when they say Paige Frabetti? Does that bug you? Because does that bug you as much as it bugs me? Because I catch Mark Ellis saying that.
It bugs me when people can't pronounce people's names right, and I know if I can't pronounce it, it bugs me when I fuck it up. But like it bugs me when they can't pronounce it right. It bugs me when you don't spell people's names right. Like, God damn it, Nikki DiMolante's name was spelled wrong for like 6 months. Whenever her name was like listed places, like come on. So
yeah. And especially like it's not like we have one DiMolante, we have two. So like we can definitely sort that out. But it's the Frabrettis and the Frabettis. Like I know it could be a mouthful sometimes, especially coming from me, the kid with the braces in his mouth. But a name that we never have a hard time saying because he's the man. We love him, the host of the Flick and Reel fan cast. We do love some Flick and Reel over here. Shout out to the homie, the Intergeekdom competitor representing the quirky Mercs. He's the Jackal, Jesse Swift. Jesse Swift coming in, talking some Intergeekdom with us. What's up, Jesse? How you doing? Bubba?
Doing well. Hello, boys. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing well. I'm doing well.
Yeah. I just gotta say, I was in that lobby for like 20 minutes, so I think I got about 3 minutes left. And then,
okay, word.
No, I'm just kidding.
I'm like, yo, I did tell you before we came on, I'm like, yo, we're gonna have Paige on for a little bit, and then we'll have you on.
Unfortunately, I was already setting up to like get on here. I was like, I was told I was late.
Well, and I'm like, no, and we were talking about that son of a gun, Matt Thomas. But you know what? I'm glad I reached out, and I'm so glad you came to talk about.
I think you'd appreciate being called son of a gungan.
That's son of a gungan.
That's right.
I had to go watch movies for the channel so he can review them for our channel. How dare he? How dare he put the channel first before Spin from the Reel? That asshole.
That is a contradictory statement, I think. But
in a way, but something that we cannot contradict is your dub. You got a W, your first W in the Movie Trivia Schmoedown, Jesse Swift.
Is it weird to say that this win has felt worse than like any loss I could have comprehended?
May I ask why? Can we talk about that?
Rough cookies in that match, my guy. I feel a little better because I am a glutton for punishment, so I did sift through the comment feeds, and a lot of people are like, "Yeah, PJ won that match," and I'm not going to argue with them. He really did.
Right.
It's sometimes like my first match with Amaru, I kicked myself for about 5 questions. I was like, there were some that I was like 50-50 in my head, and I chose the wrong direction. And there's things that I knew that I didn't take enough time to process or think about, so I was kicking myself. This match, I just got it handed to me on a platter, and it sucks. That feels worse. It's worse than kicking yourself because you're like, where did I like fail in my studies? And there's so many things that
we've seen you play. We've seen you study. We know how good you are outside of it, and this has happened before. Like I've seen this with in study sessions. Thanks to Patreon and whatnot for such great people as like they're even like the damn Merles of the world. Everyone like that. You can look
Bips has had a rough
good.
Match before.
Yeah, they've had rough matches.
There
are times where in Under the Lights, like when it's actually time, and it just happens to be with the camera recording, someone like Dan Merle can just blow through questions and go incredible. But when it comes to a study session, I've seen him go 50%. Like it's crazy just how different it is. Like sometimes it doesn't matter how much you study.
Well,
just the specific combination of questions you get.
I can be honest with you. When I see Leo Logan in the chat, that match was a match. Yeah, that's what I'll call it too, man. I'm not really arguing with people. I have for the most part, and there's been a lot of them, I've won like every mock match I've had for Inner Geekdom, other than maybe one. Yeah, almost, Jeff. Pretty close though. I think my ratio is in the high percentiles as far as winning those matches and stuff in the practice matches that I've had with the teams. There's a reason that as of today, it was announced that I will be entering in the Inner Geekdom tournament representing the Quirky Mercs. There's a reason for that, and I think a lot of people didn't see that in this match, and that's fair. I don't know who on the usual suspects is their spy, because I was talking with Coy before the match about that wheel. I was like, my guy, I've been studying some of this stuff. Some of my weaknesses that were weaknesses, I've been studying so hard with my groups, my various groups of friends and things. You guys know a little bit more than some, but there was one thing I saw on that wheel that I was just like, I haven't gotten to it yet. There's, like almost 200 new movies added to this list, and I was like, that's a whole franchise. My bad. It's a whole. That's like a whole franchise I haven't really gotten to. But even that, like, I actually did watch the recent trilogy very recently. But Apes is something that's been spun a few times, so the cuts were a little deeper. It wasn't surface level knowledge. Like if it was release dates, director, composer, something like that, I would have it would be fine. But it wasn't. It was things that you couldn't guess. And so when I went multiple choice, everything was a guess. And I was like, this sucks. And that was a big part of the match. Granted, I'm not going to pretend like I started out really strong. The round one was the hardest round one I've had. And, maybe some people are going to, scoff at that. But it is what it is. I didn't feel great about it. There was a couple that I kicked myself over the Back to the Future question. I was like, San Francisco. It's always San Francisco. Anytime it goes like what Californian city, San Francisco. So like poo on me for like making that mistake. Because you watched that Jacob guess too. His guess was just better than mine. And I think it was like they said, it was a defensive scrap. Jen said it best. It was like watching football in the rain. We were slipping all over ourselves, and nobody came out looking pretty. I did not expect it to go to. I did not wake up that morning thinking I was going sudden death with Jacob Whitnabin. That is not how it was going. It was in my mind. I had there was and you're not supposed to be transparent. You're supposed to have a good poker face, but I admit I came in with all the energy in the world. And then it just started slipping from me, and Jacob had the lead for a while, and my brain didn't know how to process it. I think I really started shutting down. Thank God for Coy. I am so grateful for my manager that I have, because he, as much as he can digitally, like grabbed me by the shirt collar and shook me, and was
grabbed you by the jean jacket.
Yeah, he did. He grabbed me right by this beautiful jean jacket and said, get your head in the game. And I think that's a large part of my 3-pointer that I had. I know technically the sudden death question is what won me the match, but to me, it was my 3-pointer that won me the match. I haven't thought particularly about John Carter in a long time. That's changed recently. Everything that was a weakness that everyone saw in this match has changed recently. Because as you see, there's a Parker match coming up. So I was like, okay, I can't have holes anymore. I have to dive in. So I started aggressively going after some of these holes. And that 3-pointer was a nice reminder. And yeah, so they said who, and I'm not going to say the name because I mispronounce it. It's like Tarkus, I think.
You're on the right track.
Yeah, on the right track. And
John Travolta, same thing. Go ahead, continue.
My brain, way back in the recesses of somewhere. It was weird because I feel like it didn't take me very long. I feel it's like 6 seconds of thought, and I was like,
No, Mark Ellis interrupted you. I was like, oh, come on, like Mark Ellis, like we need to pump the. My man's out here trying to make an anecdote, and my man Jesse trying to answer the damn question. Like, what the hell?
I was like, oh, Willem Dafoe. And then when I got that, I almost passed out. I almost had an out of body experience. I was like, I don't have you ever like said a fact you didn't know that you knew? Because that's what that was for me.
Word.
It wasn't a total guess either. It's like once I said it, I was like, yep, I think that's right. And then it was. So if I didn't answer that, the match would have been over. So for me, if you are to pick like one thing in that match, it was that particular question that made the difference.
And I mean, going into going into the match though with Jacob, and yeah, like folks have been, like dropping their 2 cents about the match, whatever.
It's fair.
And I mean totally. And at the end of the day, you won the damn match. And how you performed in that match, you can always fix that later, as you said you've been doing. And that's the most you can do, but you still have that win in your record. If you were going in this 0-2 and you were in the tournament, I guarantee you'd be holding from Vibe. But yes, like you say you're going through the comments, you were begging for it. You wanted it. You wanted to see people's reaction. And you got it, whatever the reaction was. But at the end of the day, you got the damn match. You got the damn W. That's what matters, right? Is winning the match.
It does. And the important lesson that I think anybody that is currently competing or thinking about competing in the future, a hard-learned lesson, is treat every match like a championship match. I should have been preparing like I was going against a Parker the whole time, or a Mara, or a Kalinowski. And that you can't have holes, because when you watch a Chandru or a Mara or Parker and you watch those matches, people are getting perfect games or damn near. And it's, I did not show that I was at championship level. So that was a wake-up call for me going into the tournament. I am the one that was chosen to represent the Mercs. We have 2 belts, or 2 sets of belts, if you will. I want the Inner Geekdom belt. So I've been studying, man, exhausted.
Right. And Leo Logan in the chat, which, I mean, by all means, you had a Ken Knapsack appearance, a wild Ken Knapsack appearance for your match, which probably didn't help either, seeing Ken there calling the match. But Leo Logan says that Ken forgetting the multiple choice options for Jacob, on one of his steals, is more on him being away from the disc for a little bit. Totally. 1000%, Leo. But again, it's the rust. My man's been away for a little bit. But Jesse, you're talking about how you didn't necessarily prepare with that championship mindset going into Winton.
I thought I did. Like, I was feeling so confident going into it. And I looked at that wheel. Koi's like, how do you feel about the wheel? I was like, 90% pretty good. Right? And then I was like, I haven't talked to like anybody on the suspects really. So I was like, I think there's 3 things they'll probably pick for me on opponent. I didn't even panic at opponent's choice, because I was like, he's going to give me AVP or Transformers or Planet of the Apes. And you know what? 2 out of 3 of those, I've been all over lately. That's why when his AVP question came up in round 3, I was sitting there like, it's Lawrence Fishburne, buddy. Come on. It's always
Planet of the Apes.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go please. No, please. I'm dumb. I'm host Chris. You talk.
Okay. No, you're okay. Well, we're friends, buddy. We're friends. This is how we talk.
I love you, Jesse. I love you.
We've talked about Loki and we run all over each other. It's okay. It's hard watching a round 3 where you're like, yep, knew it. Yep, knew it. And then I get 5 points Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. And I'm like, I got no idea.
You talked about that on your channel. I presented the movie to you, and I'm over here sitting like, damn, who was that? It took me
really? It took you a minute. You still got it. Okay.
Well, because I watched the movie 1,000 times, and you actively avoid it because you hate it.
That's what you don't get to do that anymore. You just can't do that. IG is there's too many things. That means that you got to watch Steel. You got to watch Son of the Mask. You got to watch Kingdom.
That's the big problem. That list, the list of movies that's eligible. It's weird.
I don't want to say IG used to be more fun, but it used to be more like treating yourself, and now it's like it's a job now.
Now it's like it's funny that you say like it. Most of these, like for everyone studying, like it feels like it could be a job with like the amount of work that a lot of people put in. But yeah, it's like the movies that constitute IG. It's like weird, like what necessarily constitutes geeky, and also why are so many of them such awful films too?
It really is. Like without hyperbole, I was talking to somebody about the list, and I was like, I think it's damn near 50-50. And the better part of that 50 is almost like the Marvel films. It's like, and it's like other stuff.
Word.
I mean, that's an exaggeration because Apes has some good stuff. AVP has some good stuff. But so many of those own franchises on their own are about 50-50. Jeff, me and you have talked about X-Men. That's about a 50-50 franchise. Right. AVP generously is a 50-50 franchise.
Pirates is a 50-50 franchise. Like
exactly. Yeah. So like you're averaging out about half crap movies. And that's when it becomes work, and that is what will separate the rookies from the champions. And this has been my first year, and I'm looking down the barrel of at least 4 appearances this year in the Schmoedown. I can't be mad at that. I started with Amaru. I got to be in the free for all. I got
best of Dan Murrell. You lasted longer than him.
And Saul. Never forget Saul.
Oh, oops. Goodbye.
Bye, Chris.
I don't know what just happened there.
I don't know.
But I mean, look, at the end of the day, regardless of
no, I didn't. When one disappears, the other one's gonna show up.
Good. I forget I have a touch screen computer. So I hit my fucking computer so damn hard that I hit. I'm like, oh, Disney Plus is opening. Oh wait, why is Disney Plus opening? Hi Matt, how are you?
Good, bud. How are you?
I'm good. I'm fine. I'm glad you can join us. Before I rudely exited the thing.
All I was gonna say though to you, Jesse, is this is your rookie year, and you've got now. Look, regardless of what happens with Parker, if you win, if you lose, not including free for all, you had 3 matches this year at a minimum. You get to also show up in an event like free for all, and for your rookie year, with the big debut of so many rookies, you're one of the ones that got a W.
There's some rookies who haven't played this year, dude.
Yeah.
I'm happy because, like I said, it's minimum 4 appearances, or 3 matches. 3 matches and a free for all appearances. That's awesome.
Right.
At the beginning of the year, I was like, if I get a match, great. That'd be awesome.
We all know why you use the Schmoedown. You used it to get to at least 100 subscribers, and you did it. So
everything else is bonus.
Everyone's watching. Just open this up in another tab. Don't get out of here, but just open up another tab. Flick and reel. You want to follow that. We're supposed to be on our way to 200. There's a little hiatus. Yeah, 200. There's a little hiatus coming.
That's what we're trying to do too.
We're in the midst of, but we have What If around the corner, and if nothing else, I'll probably pop on to do some What If reviews. The channel will go back into full production mode mid to late September, probably. So
let my man try to deal with Robert Parker first, and then he'll get back. All right.
And then also, I don't know,
he's got that. He's got a wedding.
He's getting married.
I'm moving on Friday. Yeah.
Whoop, whoop.
So there's a bunch of boxes.
Out here making some money moves, baby. Love to see it. And I do want to shout out to Galaxy Geeks. Thanks for popping in the chat. You got this, bud. We're out here. We're the Jesse Swift support show, as far as I'm concerned.
Hey, you know what?
Look,
I won with opponent's choice. I know it sucked. I know it was brutal. It was bad to watch. It was rough, but that's you marked it down for the statistics of somebody that won after spinning opponent's choice.
Hey,
there you go.
Absolutely. You put in a lot of hard work. Jeff and I know that especially. You put in a ton of hard work. A win's a win, and that's what a lot of people got to understand. So,
do you guys like that I color coordinated to your show?
Yeah. And you wore a jacket the day I wore my
I'm colorblind, so I'm colorblind. I didn't know that you did that.
Yeah, see,
my sounds like yellow.
I'm like I can't tell blues and purples. I can't tell light greens and yellows or limes and shit.
Is this a blue screen or a green screen?
I know that's green. I'm not fucking dumb.
Shout out to Party in the chat. What's up, Party? Chris is really mad all this time. Yes, and
who's a variant of who?
And I think I'm the variant of that.
Look at this. Part is telling you what you need.
Yeah, you need to come back. And I mean, at this rate,
I gotta get to 300. I gotta get to 300, so I gotta come back next season.
My man needs to stick around so you can get them subs, baby. No, but seriously, my man, he's out here killing it. Go subscribe to Flick and Reel.
You guys might see me. There might be some leak hopping. We don't know because I'm hearing a lot of interesting things about FCL next year. So somehow or another, you'll see me around.
Word. Yeah, I mean, because we know for a fact we're getting at least the general gist is that factions will not be the way they are now. And that's the vibe. The whole league's going to be turned on its damn head, and all of us after show's going to cry.
It's going to be way closer to that Wild West feel that it used to have. But
probably somewhere in between where we are now.
Like the factions now, just maybe not as many people, or open-ended of how many can go in it, and then other people that won't be connected, and maybe then they'll join. But also factions will still be gaining points, so it's all everything's very up in the air, and It's very interesting. It sounds very scary, but like that's all next year. Right now, you got Parker ahead of you, and we know how much you study. We know how much work you put into it, and I think that look, your Whitnaben match, you still got the W. The way it looked was just a bump in the road. Every great player has had a bad match.
Look at Robert Parker.
Ethan Irwin is about to go after the singles belt again in the same year he got TKO'd.
How many rookies got to have sudden death this year? Right.
That's
fun. That's a fun. I didn't think I'd ever get to a sudden.
You're
death.
my favorite rookie who's gone to sudden death this year. Let the record show.
Is that 2 people?
You and Peggy are tied for 1A, 1B. And then
no, there are six
rookie sudden death matches. So,
yeah, because
Frankie and Jess Sloth.
Yeah, there's Jesse Whitnaben, Frankie and Jess Slosh.
I like Jess.
And then there's Rager Peggy.
No, wait, what was that last one?
Frankie and Jess.
No, the last one, just the last one.
Rager and
no. Peggy, yes. Rager, no. Down.
No, I'm just listing rookies that did it.
And I'm listing how much I hate him. Wrong? Yes. Okay, cool. Let the record. Just let the record. I'm
sorry that I'm having you fly and do like a rage over the Rager, dude.
Oh, there's no rage. I'm cool. I'm having a good day. I'm
really because you rage.
Are you suckers ready to rage?
Why would you bring up that man? That
okay,
here's boy.
Here's what I hope, right? Just to keep things consistent. Let's hope that me and Parker go sudden death.
Oh man.
Oh no, Jesse.
Jesse,
no.
Jesse,
no, babe.
Oh, come on, Jesse.
Oh, wait,
okay, we got you.
Okay, you left us on a cliffhanger. Here's the deal. What?
Okay.
What?
Okay.
Here's the deal.
Parker match needs to go sudden death. And then the first question needs to be who played Sans Serif in the Spirit, so I can say Eva Mendes and win another match off of Eva Mendes.
And hopes he misses that. So he won't play more. And Taylor Click, no one said that. Just let the record show. But nope. Stop, Matt. But Jesse,
despite all my rage, I'm still just a rat in a cage.
I love raging, bro. Raging out, so fun. Have you ever been to a rage room?
Guys, I've been having such
earlier.
A good
we just had the Rager Pager on. It was great.
No one calls her that.
Hey, do you guys ever bump the music and just rage at the roof?
Jesse, Rage Against the Machine's songs, right?
Oh dear Jesus, Matt, name one Rage Against the Machine song.
I don't know.
You said Rage. Look at that. Even you just said Rage.
No, that was me trying to be a dickhead. Let's move on. Suge looks. Yeah, Suge is kind of.
And he grew some hair out of nowhere.
Right, got a full head of hair. Look at that.
You got the 4 kids.
No, the kids and the TV in the back. You know that.
Absolutely.
That's the homie right there. But Jesse, for real, you got that. Spider monkey. No, Jesus. Jesse, you have that Inner Geekdom match, right? Like between the match against Whitnaben, it is what it is. You got a W. But the damn Inner Geekdom, dude, like these rooks. I feel like you gotta be at least some tough shit. Yeah, people have their all right matches, but you still gotta be pretty damn good to be the sole representative of a faction for any type of tournament of any kind, and you're representing the Mercs.
Yeah. He's also the only one that didn't get knocked out. So I mean that's a good choice. The one that didn't get knocked out.
Some real shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just thinking about like how bad I want to take on Saul.
Do you have a take on Saul Moses? You know, Moses, the person you played in your first match, and then Saul, someone that you play in the chat every single week on Smith and the Real.
Yeah, you know,
Amadou was he was talking about you earlier in the chat too.
I guess would Saul losing give me a quicker approach to a match, because there's some Merc revenge that needs to go down. So I guess whatever gets like the trajectory of Saul towards me and like that intersect, that's what I want to happen. And then I just got to beat Parker and then move along there. What was I going to say? Oh, I was going to say, this is kind of off topic a little bit, but another lesson I think that we can learn here is there's a lot of different ways to play your round twos. Yes, just to go back into the match a little bit.
Totally, please.
Because I didn't have a lot of say in strategy when it came to round two, I was in survival mode, and that's all that happened. I would say Whitnabin did a pretty good choice because he did get me a weakness at the time that made me struggle. However, I think it's kind of a balance because me and Koi were planning what our opponent's choice would be if Whitnabin were to spin it, right? You want something you think might be a weakness but presents steals, right? All that Jake approved is that neither of us knew jack squat about Planet of the Apes. Because I don't think he was able to get a single steal off of like 4 multiple choices. And actually 5 multiple choices because we got the repeat after Ken had the little whoopsie. So there's a lot of different ways to play that, I guess, is my point.
No, totally. And I mean, even with him getting Middle Earth, right? He that was his first spin. He could have spun away from it, but he was confident with what he was doing. And he wrangled 5 points out of that, which is, I mean, more that's good, you know. But in Inner Geekdom nowadays, I'm gonna ruin the chat. Yeah, Jesse, you got something to say? Talking no smack, what?
I wasn't even talking smack. I'm talking about
it wasn't about you
strategies. It wasn't about Amaru. I was just saying there's different ways to look at it. Like that was a way, and I think it had the desired effect. But I think that there's probably maybe he could have made a better choice for him. But I don't know what he's been studying. I don't know what is because we're both rookies, because we don't talk to each other outside of the matches, because that's the smart choice to do. We don't know each other that well. So I think he was trying to do a safe bet and hurt me more than help himself, which almost worked. It really almost won him the match, which I wasn't expecting in the morning. So I gotta give him a lot of props.
I mean, when I messaged you after the match at Eric, after I got the chance to watch it, and I'm like, yo, Eva Mendes, that damn Ghost Rider. I popped for that Ghost Rider question, and I was so happy when my man pulled out the correct answer. I forget what Whitnabin said. I think he said Jessica Alba, which is not too far off. It's a good guess.
Same time frame, similar time frames,
right? But were you? So you say you weren't prepared to go sudden death, like at all. I mean, but you had to felt some type of sense of relief when you heard that Eva Mendes Ghost Rider question.
I don't know what I felt. It's always tight in the third round, right? Like if you make it to the third round, it's stressful. I was stressed coming out of round 1 6-6, and I didn't get to let that go. It was uncomfortable the entire time, and that's a learning experience for me. I feel like I've aged like 5 Schmoedown years this year, and that's an interesting experience. So I can't wait for more matches and more opportunities. I hope one day that it can evolve into a studio match. Parker is a pathway. If I can push through and keep going, I could find my way into a studio match. But if not this year, hopefully next.
Hell yeah, dude! And we know we got some spectacular later this year. If you make your way through that Inner Geekdom tournament, Taylor Cleek, I see you talking shit in the chat. Yo, Taylor, I don't want to get my feelings between you and Rick Gratis mixed up. So I'm gonna let this one slide. I'll let that one slide, Bubba. But the Eva Mendes question, and like you got it, you pulled it, and so were you? Maybe you not necessarily relieved. Were you mad at yourself when you got done with that match? When you were announced the winner, like there was like no sense of joy?
I felt lost, I guess.
Did you have like an existential crisis after the match?
A bit. Yeah, it's kind of like I was out of body, and I had to come back so I could talk to Koi. And if you saw, like, me and Koi had so much pent up to say that we almost didn't have anything left to say for Jen because we were just like, we started going. Because if it was in person, man, I would have ran up and hugged that man. It was emotional, and it was unexpected. I do hate, and I kind of dreaded when I was like, the people are going to see this, and I have some fans, and I have some friends, and I have people rooting for me, and I can't undo what happened here. And it's funny because, like, I lost against Amaru, and I was fine with everybody seeing that. I was like, listen, I didn't play my best. I made some mistakes, but I'm fine with that being out there. This wasn't cute. It was not a cute match.
Hey.
So I'm hoping that this Parker one is something to show,
That's I mean, shit. Like, and Robert Parker's having himself one hell of a year in Inner Geekdom. My man's out here trying to prove why he was taken so highly in last year's draft and why everybody was, dragging his name through the mud through a majority of last year. And he's out here coming out with a vengeance.
I can respect being angry. I can respect losing and sitting and marinating, because to a shorter degree, that's what I did this year. It was like 6 months on my ass studying, ready to like come after the next person that got put in front of me.
Yeah,
I don't think
you got 2 matches back to back within a couple weeks of one another. So I mean, that 6 months definitely led up to something. You got 2 matches in 3 weeks, 2 weeks.
Yeah,
like that's not too many folks can say that. I know we just had Paige not too long ago. Same thing. She waited for a minute, but she got 2 matches within a couple weeks. Like I said earlier, there's some folks who haven't even played this year yet, which is crazy as hell.
I want, selfishly, just because I'm a big Paige fan, I would love for her to enter IG because I want to fight her, and I'm not going into singles anytime soon. So if she wants to come into my side of the pond, I think that'd be a lot of fun.
We're seeing, you really split the table here. I spin from the reel. You wreck us over here.
She probably did better than Whitney.
Damn.
Hey, I don't
let the record show Matt said that.
Jacob improved. And I think that shows promise. And
good on you, Jesse, for being so nice.
Well, listen, I think there's a lot of people that grow, some decline like season to season. Look at, not that Saul played bad, but what a difference. As much as I like talk smack about Saul and like to flip him shit in the comments and stuff, what a difference in gameplay. He went from like an IG competitor to one of the most frightening creatures in the entire division.
Well, that has nothing to do with IG. That's just him. I mean, have you talked
That's
to
true.
Right.
Unfortunately, kind of.
He's scary as hell.
Yeah.
He just gives off, and he's like what's like incredibly intimidating. But like
my mother,
like when, it's like Jeff's mom. You know who has improved? He said Triple R. Sheesh. That's again, like you say his name a few times in a row, and my man just pops up. That's if he's not treating his face with his skincare. Really big advocate for skincare. But Jesse, before we let you go, brother, I mean we've been talking about this match that you're having against Robert Parker and the match you just had against Whitney Bin. You said a little bit ago that you didn't at least go in as hard with the preparation, at least as you probably should have a little bit ago. But is there anything you would have changed between, or better question, what changed more so between your prep for Whitney Bin and your prep for Parker, with the exception of who you're playing?
Well, I think leading up to Whitney Bin, I think rightfully so, I had a lot of confidence going into it because of how hard I'd been training, how many different regimens I've been implementing in my training, how many, there's no non-dirty way to say this, how many holes knowledge-wise I guess I'd been filling. That's the best I could do.
Fill in those holes.
You got to fill those holes.
Fill those holes.
Jesse Swift, hole filler. Continue, please.
Yes, that is my official title. Next year, I will be the hole filler Jesse Swift. That felt really good. But like I said, there's so many movies. And it used to be when I played along with the IG matches, I was either holding steady with some of the best or beating people in the matches.
Anyone else try to read that?
I didn't try to read that at all. He said triple and I immediately phased out. But Jesse, please continue.
Anyways, so
love you, Jesse.
Yeah, I think the season started out with a lot more gaps than I anticipated. You get that list and you look at it and maybe you focus on what you know at first and you're like, oh, this is okay. And then when you really start going down the list and start studying stuff, you're like, wow, I've either haven't seen a movie, because sometimes you're like, I've seen it, it's fine. Like I can answer questions on the movie, it's fine. And then when the questions come up, you're like, actually, I haven't seen the movie in a decade, which is almost as bad as not seeing it at all. Because at 17 or 18, 10 years ago, I'm not watching movies for trivia. I'm just experiencing film very casually. I'm also very young in my like film watching I don't want to say career, but like experience. So it's almost like starting from ground zero with some of the list. And so I was going through it. I didn't have a particular strategy. I was just kind of going through the list. And I think that I needed to focus on stuff that I outright had not seen at all. And I think that would have helped me a lot because Apes was a giant gap. And it
goes back a minute too.
Well, that's the thing is I've brought that up before. The Apes franchise is like 60 years long. You know, you got more than that, right? Because you got like 68 to like 2017.
Yeah, something like that. Math is hard.
That's close to 60
That's
years.
literally it. It
literally is it.
It's literally that.
It's
68 to 17. Yes.
Look at that. See, I said ask me some release dates or some composer or director stuff, and instead they're like, "Hey,
I didn't even agree in that.
Plot specific stuff. Enjoy."
Yeah. It's like how many years maximum?
Read off the scroll.
Yeah.
At the beginning.
Anyways.
Right. The damn this when you got Apes, I'm like, and they asked the first question.
I was
damn
38.
Can I say? I think it was.
That's exactly what I said to Jesse.
In Oyama match, I'm trying to remember. I think maybe it was Oyama, maybe it was Ellison. Somebody spun Planet of the Apes in singles, and I know it's a different level of questions. I went perfect in it, and I was answering about movies I hadn't seen, and I still knew the answers because it was like years, composers, or there was a quote.
That was in singles, I think.
Yeah, it was.
Those ones were in singles.
And then there was a quote, and I was like, that quote sounds so stupid. It has to be Tim Burton's. And I was right. Again, I hadn't seen the Tim Burton one. And then again, there was a quote in this match, and I was like, that quote sucks. It must be Tim Burton's. And I was right. I keep guessing Tim Burton correctly because I think he's a predictable filmmaker at this point in his career. So that's been helping me a lot.
Yes, it was Chance.
Okay.
Yeah, Oyama or Chance. It was one of them. But
thanks for clarifying.
It was definitely Chance. Definitely did that in there. I know that.
Bottom line, I'm ready for Apes. Ready for John Carter. Ready for things. I don't like to make the same mistakes.
Apparently, you're not ready for Crystal Skull though, because you didn't name that one.
I guess just because I watched that movie again.
I'm not going to clarify what I said. I said what I said. I meant it.
But
so Jesse, I want to bring up something real quick here before this.
As long as it's real quick, Jeff, because that would be a first.
Yeah, absolutely, right? Yeah, you're right.
No. Wait. Pause. Jeff takes quickly. It's Chris that doesn't.
Matt, shut the hell up. Continue.
All right, real quick. I gotta say, one thing that I really enjoyed about the beginning of the match, I know you were planning on it, was the whole thing with your shirt. And I checked the chat during that on the replay, and I'm like, people noticed it.
I'm glad people noticed because nobody in the match cared. So I'm glad somebody noticed it.
Yeah.
I got approval from like 6 people before making that choice. So I'm glad that people haven't forgotten in 6 months a bad call. But that's fine.
You know what, Jesse? In 6 months, we're still going to be talking about you in the Schmoedown. I can guarantee that for sure. Because, I mean, my man, you're gonna kill it against Robert Parker, win or lose. You can absolutely wreck it. I already know, baby. But thank you so much for coming on Spin from the Real, brother. We really appreciate the love. I would hit my can against the computer, but I don't want to open Peacock, which is right next to Disney Plus. But Jesse, we appreciate you, brother, and we'll have you back on very, very soon. Very soon. Yes, thanks, but again, I don't want to hit the screen. I don't want to do it, but we'll talk to you soon, Jesse.
This interview brought to you by Salt Cat Soap.
That's right, absolutely.
You already know, and Coors Seltzer. Thanks, Jesse.
Bye, guys.
That's the homie right there, Jesse Swift. Everybody, Jesse Swift, the Jackal. Much love, friend of the channel. Go subscribe to Flickin' Real on some real shit.
Subscribe.
But we do have one more match from last week before we talk about next week and Collision. We have some fun stuff going on for Collision amongst all of us. Mm-hmm. But we had Jen Kempe in her first singles match of the year against Felix Morrit. Memes versus money. And Memes took the cake in another rough one for the Stars. It was another rough one for the Stars.
My head down for 2 seconds and Matt's gone.
He said, no, I'm just gonna make up some bullshit. But yes, Felix Morrit and Jen Kempe. First of all, Jen Kempe is one of those folks that we've been asking for, at least in singles in her geekdom. We finally got her in teams last week, or the week before, I should say. And she played really well against with Pop Quiz against Chaos Theory. But now in her singles match of the year, her first one, we see her against Felix Morrit. And the story of this really isn't Jen because we knew what we were expecting. It's Felix. ASG, we went from no Kemp to Kemp 3 weeks in a row, and I'm here for it. So am I. My fantasy team is loving it. My fantasy team is going nuts for some Jen Kemp. But Felix, man. Felix, and he had a rough round one. He got 4 points. Jen went perfect, which that's the caliber of player that we expected. We saw her earlier in the year in the free-for-all do some similar type of things, keeping her own against folks like Ben Bateman and Paul Oyama. But that second round did not do Felix any favors either. My man got 3 points in that second round. He spun away from Wizarding World, which came back to bite him in the ass a little bit later, and kept 90s. 90s, again, wasn't too kind to him. Regardless of what folks think of the difficulty of questions, my man didn't do so hot. And I don't know if it was the nerves, if it was him, it was just how well Jen was doing in that match, but the Stars had himself one rough ass summer, and I'm curious to see how they go going forward.
Look at how when you talk about someone did pretty well in their match or whatever, there are people that win without a TKO or a KO, and they win with what was it, Amaru won against Jesse with 19 points, I think. He 18 or 19 points,
something like that.
Because it was he really locked in on the whole the goal is 20 points. You want to get over that hump. But Kemp, without ever answering a round 3 question, just in steals, was going to get 18 points. She was on a roll.
She was killing it.
She was killing it. Absolutely.
Just insane.
Yeah. So and
that's
look,
testament to her too.
Morrit didn't do well. Look, Morrit didn't do well at all. But at the same time, it doesn't matter how good or bad you are. If you don't go perfect, I said it earlier when Paige was there too. If you don't go perfect and someone else goes perfect, you're fucked. Like that's it. You're screwed at the end of the day.
Right.
It's and he was very far from perfect. And hopefully he rebounds and maybe he gets to participate in something else down the line. It wasn't very impressive this time around. But not only look, Swag needed that extra point.
Lord knows.
Stars really did not need to lose another point, an extra point. They that's bad.
Right. Especially at this point in the year, we're about to get in the singles tournament soon after Intergeekdom teams, Star Wars. A lot of points will be being thrown around at this point in the year, right before the big spectacular at the end. And Leo Loken coming in here with stat of the evening. It's tough being KO'd in your debut. Felix joins Humberto Gonzalez, Marquia McCarthy, and Bruce Green in the Rare Company in the modern era. A shout out to Bruce Green. Bruce! I missed him on Funhouse. Off topic. Matt, what did you think of Kemp and Felix? Kemp
was dominant. It sucks because I did watch. I was in the audience watching last week after I had to step off for my stomach issues, and it sucks because Corey brought up a point. There's very few black competitors in the Schmoedown, and it sucks to see one just get destroyed, just absolutely destroyed like Felix did. But that's the name of the game. You're not wrong, Shug.
with the bubble guts. See you, Sean.
Chris, you want to know what caused it? I went to Swenson's before the show.
I love Swenson's.
I got 2 galley boys. I got 2 potato teasers.
Swenson's.
I tried Swenson's for the first time around Christmas time when I was visiting and staying at my brother's in Ohio.
And it's hot.
I must have gone to the worst one that ever fucking existed because that place was terrible. That place was awful.
You went to one of the ones in the Akron area, is my guess.
The 2 times I've been to the Cleveland area, Matt has taken me to Swenson's, and I loved it both times. It's fantastic. Sean in the chat. So I'm 80 minutes behind, but I'm also in the chat. Just wanted to let you know because Chris is calling everyone out. Am I? Who was I talking shit to start? I don't remember.
Jeff, to to be fair, the Akron ones are the oldest ones in the area, so they really don't give a shit about how it's cooked.
Go to a different Swenson's.
November, you tell me where to go, but it depends. We'll see.
You come to my area,
Let
I'll
Matt
take
you. Let Matt take you. But in regards to Felix and the Jen, before we keep talking about Swenson's for the next hour, the Dam, yes. And last week, Suge and I, we had, or it was Corey Cameron. I don't know if he's still in the chat, but my man had mentioned that same thing, Matt, that you had mentioned, that Felix is one of the few black male competitors in the league, one of the few people of color in the league. And it's not great seeing folks like that. And I know, like, oh, is Chris pulling the race card? Is Spin for the Root pulling the race card? Yes, we are. I mean, because that's what we do, you know. Like that's. I mean, I'm not shitting on anybody. Like I'm just saying, like,
it just says it sucks.
It sucks, yeah. And I got to meet Felix on Digesting the Force, Christy V's pod, and he was so sweet. He was so kind, and I was looking forward to his match. And when I found out that Jen Kempe was his opponent, I'm like, oh, geez, people are going to be writing for Kempe because people waiting for her, myself included. I drafted her in my fantasy league for a damn reason. And I'm going to ruin the chat. Yes, pull the damn card. If I had my wallet, I'd pull out all my cards, but I can't. Corey's here. I love you, Corey.
I got a bunch of cards here. Ready? I'll just
wait, Jeff. Don't pull out the race card.
It's my Costco card. It's black enough. Pulling out the race card.
They're not. Jeff, do you have your race card?
Look at me.
Don't answer that question.
Just remember, if you have a Costco membership, there's a white card and a black card.
Yep, that's
and
definitely
the black
something.
Card gets you money back.
There you go. ASG in the chat. We need more in the league. Buck needs more friends to put certain Comment of the evening goes to ASG, baby. ASG, I love you, brother. That's rad.
Look, here's mine.
We got all four of us here. I got my two brown friends.
Jeff said that to me before the show started. Let the record show. You're saying, Jeff?
Yeah, look. I got a card. Look, it's a black card there.
Yeah, Jeff gets
an my race card.
Yes,
Jeff gets an invite. Jeff's earned an invite. If you talk to him behind the scenes, Jeff's
cool. Jeff's cool.
Yeah, Chris, what vehicle would I drive to the cookout?
No, I plead the fifth. So, but with Felix and Jen, another. I mean, I wonder if we'll. I mean, this we're going to see her. I don't know if we got the confirmation from Christian earlier. But are we going to see her in the singles tournament?
That's what her match against Horowitz is.
Oh shit! That is happening this Friday. Oh my god! I said it earlier. Yes. Holy shit! Oh god. Oh Jesus!
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I remember that. Great sketch.
That's fantastic. Faff.
Please.
Damn it! I'm gonna. But I mean, it's a great segue to talk about this week's matches. So we're getting Jen Kempe and Josh Horowitz. Holy shit! Like that match is gonna be freaking rad. I'm looking forward to that. Josh has been killing it this year, surprising literally everybody. Literally everybody.
I mean, I think I pulled up all this week's matches just so I could see because I was at a movie before this. That's why I was late.
Right. Oh no, we were talking about it. How you were. How dare you put the channel first? How dare you? But Amar Ramos in the chat. I want Kempe to pull out that win so bad. Yo, this is a toughie for me. Obviously.
So we only got the match Friday then. We only got the match Friday and then Collision. It looks like.
There's no other thing on. There's Danger Zone Lightning Time.
Okay,
on Thursday.
I'm looking.
Star Wars match.
I looked at I'm looking at.
And for the patrons, I should say.
I was looking at this that he posted. This little.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, I mean for next week we have a shit ton going on, but we'll get there when we get there. Next week on the show. But this week we have Demolanta and Hoey. We have Danger Zone Lightning Time, number 1 contender if I'm not mistaken, and then we have Horowitz and Kempe.
No. Yeah. It's not number 1 contender. Whoever wins goes against Final Exam.
That's number 1 contender. Right. So we have a pretty stacked week, and there's a shit ton of showdown this week with the matches and Collision going on this weekend, and we'll talk about Collision stuff in a bit.
We were unable to get Shug's picks, and he's in and out of the chat. So Chris and I have already talked. Not doing picks this week, just
for Collision.
I don't want Shug to fall even farther behind.
Okay, never mind. I mean, we can lose.
because it's going based off percentages, and I was like, but we don't want Suge to fall too far behind, so we're just scrapping this week. We're still gonna give our personal picks, but nothing's counting on the standings.
Let's get it.
Which by the way, these are the updated standings.
Woo! 66 fifth. Yo, that's there's still a lot of Schmoedown left in the. There's a lot going on, especially with those damn tournaments. Collision, aka the Quirking Work Invitational. Yes, I like that ASG. That's good. That's really good. And my man Amaru was saying this in the chat earlier. Collision, you already know. Koi is one busy ass boy that day. I do not envy him. I do not envy Koi at all. But the first one is Nikki DeMolante's Schmoedown debut against John Hoey of the Dungeon, correct? He hasn't played in a minute.
Hoey played against Whiteley, and the Hoey played against Whiteley, which is what created the first wave of Blind Wave being angry at people in the Schmoedown.
Right.
Because Blind Wave didn't know how to handle whatever the fuck Kaiser was throwing at them.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, I mean, Kaiser, just with no context, like if he was just, be Kaiser in a Schmoedown match, like it can be a lot, especially for a lot of folks who are coming into this for the first time. Like Eric brought a lot of eyes to the Schmoedown coming from Blind Wave. And the Hoey loss. I mean, my man Hoey, a lot of some folks slept on him. And I mean, because we really didn't know him unless you listened to his podcast or was familiar with his work. But now we know what he's capable of doing. He's pretty damn good at some Star Wars trivia. He's pretty damn good at what he does. And now he's facing off against Nikki DeMolanta. And that's where I'm just like, like we haven't seen Nikki, but Paige said it earlier. Like Andrew DeMolanta is Nikki's husband. Like not the other way around. Let's be frank. We know where the power is at in the DeMolanta household. Andrew said it on this damn show. Go back and check that out when we got to talk to Andrew DeMolanta. But ASG in the chat saying Blind Wave did not like that missing by a letter ruling. I bet some folks, even not from Blind Wave, didn't like that ruling. But that's the Schmoedown. I think Felix had a Jennifer Aniston moment.
And they gave it to him.
So, I mean, we knew what he meant. But Star Wars real intricate with the things.
Star Wars you have to be, because at least they were consistent about it when it came to Evan or Gold Leader later on.
Right. When the Gold Leader match with Thomas Harper and I mean, my man Gold Leader, he's still somewhere in a corner just thinking about that match and Thomas Harper. But I'm looking forward to this. And if we were to just throw out some loose thoughts, I would say like I think I'm right in the DeMolanta wave. I
gotta go Hoey.
Word.
And it hates me to say that because I'm rooting hard against the Dungeon.
It's it's a coin toss. Like I'm right in the wave that is like, somebody that obviously helped Andrew get to the point where he's at. Without Nikki's assistance, Andrew probably isn't where he's at now. We can ask him that question hopefully later in the week. We'll get to that in a minute. But the Nikki DeMolanta, I'm rocking with Nikki with this match. Jeff, do you lean a certain way?
I do. I have my feelings on every match this week. Shut up.
Meow.
Meow.
No, Matt.
Really? It's right here.
No, don't.
This guy. All right,
Hi.
That's Oz.
Hi, Oz.
So, look, here's the deal. I've been supporter of the Dungeon.
We'll get
I'm a big Dungeon person this whole way through. They're my number one faction that I follow. But
chill.
It's not just Bateman, dude. It's the Dungeon as a whole.
Watch your mouth, man. You're outnumbered today. You're outnumbered this week, baby. You need to cool it.
The fucking swag shill. Anyways,
I support two factions, sir.
Yeah, he can't make up his mind on one.
Too. I'm also a big fan of the Exchange, all but one of them. And
yes. Thank you, Jeff. My God.
And I think that
we're gonna talk about the same person. Holy shit.
So I'm gonna go Nikki. because I love Hoey. I got to talk to him. He's really cool. He's really fun. But Nikki has that Dimolanta study prep. She's got that. Like, Hoey's talking so much all the time about all sorts of things, and Nikki's got the Schmoedown to a T, probably behind the scenes, working directly with Dimolanta, with her husband Andrew. And after Damon Dimolanta 2, Nikki was right there with him, shifting gears to be able to get the more difficult questions that PJ is now starting to throw out there. She's preparing right alongside him. Not many other players have that level of difficulty that they're like, I mean, maybe they're all shifting, but none of them are like face to face with that level of study prep as being with the person who is the current champion. And maybe one day she could take it. We don't know. We have to see how her first match goes. I'm going with her because I think that she's had all this time to just prepare. And you know that she's helped Marie, and you know that she helps Andrew. And I think in turn they help her and they bolster her up to, I think, a place that's going to get her a W. And I want the dungeon to win so badly, and I don't think it's going to happen this time.
Nikki Dimolanta, she's been hyped up like a mother trucker, and Paige, just hearing Paige talk about it not too long ago on the show, like, the suspects are high on her, as they should be. And if Andrew Matt, when we got to talk to Andrew Dimolanta a few weeks ago on the show, he was also very, very high on Nikki for obvious reasons. But like, I'm looking forward to that, and that already dropped for patrons, and that will be go up live on Wednesday on the channel. And Thursday, the dungeon rolls on, because we got Danger Zone, the return of Danger Zone, facing off against Lightning Time. Lord God, this is this match is nuts. This is like a collision prelude. Like I think this is a collision level match. This is on a Thursday.
I said this before when we were first picking the tournament. I love Dan Merle. Dan Merle is still one of my favorite players of all time. I hate the fact that he teamed up with Bateman. It still pisses me off to no avail.
They're very good as a team.
But damn.
It's a toughie. It's a toughie.
No, I'm sitting here. I'm like, I gotta rock with I gotta rock with Dan, and it pains me. Like,
excuse me, back-to-back dungeon picks from Matt Thomas. Can we please can we set the record straight? My man's out here. The don't get it twisted moment of the week. Matt Thomas.
That's terrible.
Back-to-back dungeon picks? What kind of show is this? Suge's missing one hell of a show. Leo Logan said Danger Zone. I am also going to pick the Danger Zone. And yes, I know I said the Danger Zone again. Danger Zone before Party attacked me in the chat. That's just how I feel. I'm rocking with Bateman and Dan. They absolutely crushed it.
Based off of it comes down to who I've been a fan of.
Amaru, brother.
And you can see I'm not happy about picking them, but at the end of the day, this boils down to my fandom for this pick.
At the end of the day, he picked them. That's really what it is. I'm also picking Danger Zone. My man E-Man. Can I call you E-Man, Emmanuel? Ethan just gonna beat Dan twice. Lord coming in hot. My man coming in hot. Holy shit.
I would love to see it because that means less points for the dungeon and there's less to run away with.
My man Matt's out here like, I love Dan, but I want him to lose. Holy God.
I want the dungeon.
What kind of show is this?
I want the dungeon to lose, but I want Dan to win, but they go hand in hand. It hurts. It hurts.
Is this Earth 2? Spin from the real? What kind of timeline did I wake up in? Party in the chat. I see you, Party. I appreciate the love, brother. I know you're playing with me. I'm playing with you too, bub. And E-Man, can I not call him E-Man? I can't call Manuel E-Man. Is that another thing?
It should smack you through the screen.
I can't call him E-Man? Jeff, brother, I mean, I have an inkling about where you're going to choose. But how do you feel about Lightning Time going into this match, Jeff?
So, Lightning Time played Lights Out recently in their last match, which was against... Was it against Deception?
Yes, it was.
Okay, I just want to make sure if it was them or Rushmore. I was trying to figure out which team they beat. So it was against Deception, and they played Lights Out. And at the end of the day, when I look at the two teams matched up against each other, I think, all right, well, I kind of would cancel out Dan and Erwin because they're like right there around each other. But I also then look Bateman versus Liz, and I would probably lean that Bateman is probably a better player than Liz. But then I also know about
it's close.
Then I also hear about how the league is looking to see what they could do about the number of perfect first rounds and how much more difficult it's going to be going forward.
We see it a lot. We've seen it a ton.
And I'm wondering how that could affect either team. And it's difficult because it's also like Liz is good at a lot of stuff. Ethan is good at a lot of stuff. What if they don't hit dance this time? Because their last two big wins all relied on the fact that they hit dance. And we've also seen that even with some other stuff, we've seen that Ethan wasn't listening to Liz. And the only reason why they won something was because Liz asserted herself through when Ethan was thinking of the wrong thing. So when I look at those two, when I look at all that stuff kind of go together, I'm 50-50 on it. I'm ride or die on Dungeon and Danger Zone and all that stuff. But in terms of my gut feeling, I'm 50. I'm so 50-50 that I go with who I want to win, and that's done. And that's Dungeon. However, it could easily be Lightning Time.
This match would be really, really good, and both these teams.
This will be a good match to watch. It's going to be a good match.
It's going down for real.
And Lightning Time has the momentum on their side. They've been awfully dominant in their past performances. Danger Zone coming off a loss to Corruption. So like we'll see. We'll see what we have going forward. But I'm also rocking with just my favorite of the two. If I had to pick a favorite, sorry, Amaru and E-Man. Not the first time, and it won't be the last, brother. It will not be the last. On Friday, what's wrong, Matt? I can't call him E-Man. Jesus Christ! Like Amaru said, it's cool. My man E-Man said it's cool. Leave me alone. But on Friday, we mentioned it earlier. We'll say it again. Jen Kempe and Josh Horowitz. This could be a goodie. Talk about another goodie.
I gotta go Horowitz. This man's playing lights out. Kemp's played well in the 2 games I've seen her in, but Horowitz is a monster.
He's pretty good. So, I mean, Jen just came off a perfect knockout performance with Felix.
Yeah. Horowitz for me.
Nick is in. Cade Cunningham is going first. I mean, I could just split the vote. I have Jen on my fantasy team, so if she wins, I still win. I'm gonna pick Horowitz just because, but. Well, I'll say Horowitz for the sake of this, but Jen, this is a coin toss as far as I'm concerned because they're both really, really good at what they're doing right now. Josh Horowitz surprising literally everybody. Who, if you would have told me the MTV Comedy Central guy would be absolutely murdering movie trivia right now for the Mercs, I'm like, really? On some real shit? But he's killing it. And Leo Logan seconds our notion, with Horowitz. Excuse me? Jeff and I have been saying the F word the entire show.
I wasn't here for that.
Jeff,
I said a hot hand, didn't mean to.
What?
Are we not allowed to swear on this show?
We're trying to tone it down. That was special. That was picked out especially for Chris. Because who is it, Chris?
Language.
What? You asked me who that is?
Yeah,
it's Steve Rogers.
That's
Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Captain America in Age of Ultron. Yeah, they're in the opening thing. I'm so fucking sorry that I swore earlier, guys.
I wasn't going to correct you, Jeff, and at no point was I going to tell you to stop. Party also in the chat says Horowitz. 100% Horowitz. Oh, man, doubling down.
Yeah, here's the deal. Kemp's going to put up a good fight, but it's going to be Horowitz. It's just his one loss this year was him and Perry in press room versus Rushmore, and it was only because that was the beginning of like a crazy run for Rushmore. Rushmore is a crazy good team. Right. Like Roka and JTE, like who would have known that like would work so well together after the amount of rivalry in the past? But maybe, hey, that works. They're riding that legacy wave, but then Horowitz rebounded real quick from that, and then they did really good in their latest press room match.
Outsiders.
It's against the Outsiders. Man, it's Horowitz. Horowitz is Horowitz is so good. I could see him potentially. I'm not gonna like guarantee it. I could see him going on like a Collins level run if the stars align.
No, Christian straight up said a while ago that outside of Harper, Horowitz would be his pick for Rookie of the Year right now.
Yep, I remember him saying that. Yeah, and low key, right? Like Horowitz is on fire right now. And I remember we talked about that a couple weeks ago on the show.
With a loss on his record versus some rookies that have made it big that haven't had a loss.
Right. Like I know when we talked about it, Matt, on the show a couple weeks ago, or maybe it was last week, I don't remember. But like we're talking about the Alvarez's and the Schlo, or not the Schlo. We do love Jess over here, but Rager, like folks like that, right? But Horowitz, low key, like if he bests Kemp and he progresses in the tournament, because I mean we got the exchange members, we got no Radis, so we're gonna see Horowitz potentially go on a Collins-like run, maybe. Who knows? If he does, holy God. I mean, yeah, then him and Thomas going to be duking it out by the end of the year for that thing.
Yeah, I'm the same way as you. I don't count teams' losses when I'm voting for
Horowitz was definitely the A player of that squad that day.
Look, no, he was the A player for sure. I'm just saying that in general, you look at the year, you look at how someone has done for the year, and that is a loss that in a game that he played. He was on the losing side. We look at Paul
was a loss
Preston,
for Collins too last year when he lost his.
Look, Paul Preston had what? Paul Preston is 1-3 this year, right? Because he's had 2 outsiders matches that have lost. He's had 1 singles match that he's lost, and he's had 1 win. So, yeah, I mean, then he lost again sometime recently. Like he's 1-5 in the last 2 years, and that includes team stuff. So to me, I get the idea of teams don't count as a loss when you're talking about a single player. However, the thing is, a team's loss is yeah. I know that you're trying to talk about how outsiders is separate, but outsiders is 50% Preston. Just like Preston is 50% Horowitz. A loss is a loss, and it includes one person being a part of it, even if everything else they did has been good. So I think that's just how you have to deal with it. Because when you vote for someone for player of the year, the player of the year, that's a separate category than team of the year, singles player of the year, IG, stars. You go over all of it. Do you then look at that and say, well, that player, I'm only going to look at singles and not teams? Exactly. Snyder had the whole team. He had the singles run. He had the team stuff together. It all goes together. He ended
that season strong as hell. He had the best run as a solo competitor outside of Collins. Yes, 1,000%.
Yeah, but like when you're looking at a player who's in a team, the team is there because of the players that gets in there. This is Andrew. This is a bad take you're giving.
He's so mad to call him by his first name, his government name. But he does mention it. Yes, and hopefully this year, and maybe we'll see that if Harper, if Dimolanta or Kelly, whoever comes out on Saturday, and if Harper beats them and goes on and defends the belt a few times, we may be talking about him player of the year because my man came in as a rookie and dominated Star Wars. Who the hell knows what the hell the year's going to look like?
ASG, I'm very appreciative. You've embraced who you are with your takes, good and bad. At least sticking to your guns as wrong as you are. But yeah, Horowitz.
Jeff coming in hot. Jesus. But the we only have 3 matches in the main week for main schedule, but we do have the coalition coming up on Saturday. And on Saturday, it's gonna be a busy day. There's a lot of stuff going on across the entire after show space, the Movie Trivia Schmoedown itself.
Yes, there is.
We have a ton. Look at that. Schmo Me the Real. We're back at it again, baby.
On the Schmo Me the Money channel this week.
Schmo Me the Money.
Last week was here. This one here, August. That means that I'm like waving my arms around, but this thumbnail's up, so it's like, why am I fucking doing this? Why am I talking with my hands? You got this here, which is
language
huge, and then shut the fuck up. And then next week, you
language.
You got
God, Matt, stop it.
You're gonna have Ethan versus Dan on this channel. These hangouts are so much fun. And this Collision after party, this after show is going to be really, really fun. We got a lot of great guests that are coming on for that one there. And we're really excited about it because Collision is one of the big events of the year. And, it's totally different than like Spectacular. Like Spectacular, we're all going to be there. We can't do any sort of show necessarily immediately after.
We might try.
And if we would, who's going to be watching it? Everyone else would probably be there at Spectacular.
Be there. Right.
So, but this is the case where it's different. Everything's pre-recorded. Half of them were filmed in person. Half of them were actually digital. And it's going to be crazy to see. And we got a lot of fun faces that are going to stop by. Maybe some people participated. Maybe some people that have a bright future ahead after Collision. We don't know. It's going to be really, really fun.
I did kind of show our cards. I kind of showed our cards earlier. We will have a certain. He may be still the current or maybe the former Star Wars champion on the show. So who the hell knows? That's this upcoming Saturday on the Schmo Me the Money channel. We're all going to be there.
Chris, you want to know who else we may have? A man who is in the chat currently.
He's in the chat. Oh, God, no.
Mr. Amaru Moses.
Oh, okay. It's definitely not where I thought you were going. Woo, yes. Yes, Amaru. Like, I'm yes. I'm so happy.
Who were you going to say? We're going to be like, we're going to have.
Oh, I thought he was gonna. I mean, Suge's gonna be there, but I mean,
yeah.
We're talking to Taylor Cleek earlier, and all Taylor needs to do is send a damn carrier pigeon, and we're gonna see some nasty ass stuff go down on Saturday. But hopefully, it will be clean. Schmo Me the Money's channel. I believe. What is it? 9 p.m. Eastern.
9 p.m. Eastern. Yes.
8 p.m. Central. 6 p.m.
9
Pacific.
p.m. Eastern. Yeah, 6 p.m. Pacific. And it's one of those things where, hey, it's open ended. We don't know when it's going to end. We have some times when we know some people may stop by, including this guy right here. Man, when we pull up your comments, your photo is great. I just want to point that. I just want to say it's a great photo. I can't
disgusted by Chris even thinking it was.
Yeah, Chris. If you're
I'm sorry.
disgusted by something, if you're like in mid sneeze prep, like what's going on there? But I like it. It's great.
Right. I'm so excited for this
breakdown of your default photo.
This Saturday, 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central, 6 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock Mountain. We're going live on Schmo Me the Money's channel. After party of Collision. Come hang. It's going to be a good time. We got four matches. And what we got, speaking of Amaru, he's going to be facing Saul in a highly anticipated match. Really looking forward to seeing Saul and Amaru do their damn thing. Both those guys having great years in Inner Geekdom. And Amaru shown us what the Rooks can do in Inner Geekdom. We were talking to Jesse not too long ago, and you guys are still live. Yo, it's
not even a 2 hour. It's not even a 2 hour show yet.
We'll wrap before 2 hours.
But ASG there in the chat. Pre-show starts at 12. Matches beginning at 1. Oh, perfect. Because I was going to try and go to the movies earlier in the day. Because so that's an extra hour of me with all the
so like I said, like my prediction originally was.
Is that Pacific?
Yes.
Okay.
So the other day when we were in our group chat,
when we were like, "What time are we starting?" Yeah.
Yeah, and I said 9 makes perfect sense, and I got pushback. I have a brain.
Yeah.
You calling me dumb?
No.
What's that? What are you trying to say?
You called yourself the village idiot, dude.
I am. Yeah, and that's the asshole. He just fucking proved that.
No, I was talking about Suge, you idiot.
No, but now you call. Don't. I can call me an idiot, and maybe Jeff.
Suge isn't here. You can't speak badly about him.
Yeah, Suge talks down to me all the time, even when I'm not there. He calls me a no drama mother F, although he may be right, but you can't say that out loud. But yes, like we're getting Amaru and Saul, we're getting Shazam and Corruption, we're getting Kelly and Demolanta and McKee and Smith, and these are all going to be killer matches. Are we giving quick picks?
Yeah, I'll go first. I'll run down my.
Go ahead, Matt. Go run them down.
All right. So when it comes to Saul and Amaru, I want to see a black man on his way to get a belt. Give me Amaru. When it comes to Marisol and Kevin Smith, I love Marisol. She's one of the few members on Corruption I like. I still got to go with Kevin Smith here. This is a guy who's inspired me a lot of my life. I'm gonna ride with Kevin Smith.
I can. Yeah.
Then What are the other matches?
You got Corruption and Shazam.
Oh, man, we always pick against Corruption here. Let's go Shazam. Let's go Shazam.
And you got Demolanta Kelly. Who you got?
I want Kelly to win so Winston gets points, but Andrew retaining would be so awesome. I gotta go Andrew here.
Yeah, and Amaru calling you out. At some point, you pick Saul. Mine's changed.
It wasn't an official pick. I was just
we don't lock the picks into the show before.
And these picks don't even count this week, right?
Right.
They don't even count. We're talking out of our ass. Jeff, who you got?
All right, so here's the deal. When it comes to Amaru versus Saul, Saul is a fierce competitor. And Amaru shows that he can win even when he doesn't even hear a word, and all you hear are Christian and Mark talking. But
nice.
When you look at those matches,
some goodies.
Amaru has shown what it's like to win hard-fought victories. He's someone who's been able to scrap and get down in the dirt. And Saul's big wins, Saul's fierce. Saul also went up against the real rejects who didn't give two shits. Now he's playing against someone who actually cares.
That's a good point.
So here's what I gotta say. Saul asked for someone who actually cares for that reason. Be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for.
We have someone who now, win or lose, it punishes themselves to whatever degree. I don't know. If you can't even hit 20 points. This is you. I remember that post interview. I remember that. And then you made sure that you got over that hump next time against Haas, man. I got to go Amaru because Saul's fierce. Saul's is strong, but we also saw that even in his knockouts, he's not flawless. He missed something. He went to multiple choice. He didn't get 100%. Amaru hasn't necessarily either with those, but here's the thing. Like I said, Amaru actually went up against competitors and beat them. Saul went up against two guys who didn't care. John Humphreys got like horrible Spider-Man questions, but also like he's kind of goofy.
Yo, those Spider-Man questions are no
Greg
joke,
Alba,
baby.
Who literally said, "I don't fucking care." Did you see my video was like trending on YouTube this week? So you got Amaru here, who's actually going to fight, and I'm going to go Amaru on that. I also agree with Matt's other comment here as the resident white guy visiting in. And then have we
even had a black champion yet in any division?
Chance.
This is the Schmoedown. The answer is no. Oh, yes.
It's Chance
right.
Ellison.
Yeah, Chance. That's right. Speaking of Chance, you got Chance and Mike.
In your throat suck after a movie.
You got Chance and Mike versus Shazam. Look, here's the deal. I always count Corruption out, and they always come back stronger than whatever I think is going to happen.
Right.
But this time they're up against Shazam, and they're up against the Shazam that went perfect, and they went up against Shazam that went perfect in a very difficult match.
Mm-hmm.
And this is Bibbs at the top of his game. This is Meyer at the top of his game. I think that it's going to be incredibly close because Chance and Mike are two of the fiercest competitors out there. But I think the Mercs are going to retain.
Word.
I believe they're going to retain, and I think it could be barely it. I don't think anyone's going to go for. No one's going to go perfect this time. It's going to be much more like the difference between the odd couple match when Shazam won, and then this one is going to be very similar to Damon Demolanta 1 to Damon Demolanta 2. I think that's going to be what happens here. I think it's going to be harder because of what happened. They're going to do the same exact thing, but I think Shazam's got it at the end of the day. Then we get over to Marisol versus what's
Kevin
his
Smith.
name? That upstart guy. Yeah, Kevin Smith. That guy. Once again, Kevin Smith hasn't really gone up against a great competitor. He went up against who? Chris Jericho?
Y2J, Chris Jericho.
And then he went up against
Master of 1,000 holds. 1,004 holds.
Who's the second person he went up against? Yeah, exactly. And then who's the third person he went up against? I'm not
Stacey Howard.
Stacey Howard. Stacey Howard can be good, depending on the day of the week. She is look. Depending on if a day ends in Y, then you have no idea how she's going to play. So you have no idea. Is she going to be good? She's going to be bad? She's going to be great? She's going to be terrible? She's going to be somewhere in between. She put up an okay fight, but she was here. Kevin's here. Kevin's still not at the top tier, but he's still good. But now he's going, once again, same thing with the Saul comment I have here. He's going up against someone who is a real competitor, one of the best competitors we have in the league in the singles and teams. That 2-3 record for Deception, that does that shows, a loss is a loss, a win is a win. But you know who the players are, you know how good they played in those matches. Anyway, Marisol's got this. Marisol's got this, and it's just a matter of if they're both going to do spectacular and it's a 1-point difference, or if she's going to run away with this. I think that Kevin Smith is a good player. I don't think that he's on Marisol's level. And this allows, finally, since Clark Wolf, for a female competitor to go after the singles belt. And the first female person of color to go after the singles belt.
Gotta love it.
Ever. Mm-hmm. This is important. It's not only like I don't just believe that she should win, that she's going to win. I think it's necessary that she does win. Absolutely, you do that. I'm gonna, walk into the sunlight and let my skin reflect off and blind someone.
Give me Demolanta Kelly.
Very difficult there because Kelly showed that she was lights out last time around. Demolanta.
Nice.
Oh, is that her name?
Lights out, Laura Kelly.
Yeah.
Demolanta for a variety of reasons. He bested Damon twice. He went after Damon in the marathon of all marathons, and then when PJ was like, "Let's kick it up a notch," Demolanta was like, "Sure, let's fucking go." And now he's gonna have Nikki working with him as well. Cool. And also, once again, another time that we're gonna have a person of color still hold on to a belt. Let's go for it.
Let's
do it.
Yes.
We are a rainbow league, and we want the champions to reflect that.
Now, here's the other issue, though: is on the other side, a female competitor holding a championship belt.
Yeah,
that would be preferable as well. But that's it. If you want someone that's a person like of the people that are currently competing, you want someone that's a person of color but also female, like to get all the bases. Like, let's go Marisol. But right now, I'm gonna say Demolanta. I don't know if it's gonna be. I'm guessing it's gonna be similar to Damon Demolanta too. That it's going to be an incredibly hard game. It's going to be very difficult, and I think I think that Demolanta has already been able to shift, and he's already been attacked with those questions. I don't know if Laura, even in her prep, is able to kind of like ride that wave, especially because she's part of Swag at the moment, and Swag is just sort of just
Don't remind me.
They're riding the Jen Kempe high. That's what they're doing.
That's what they're doing right now.
Like they're real.
Look, that balloon's about to get popped, man.
Sheesh.
So
I mean, Jeff was speaks some hot fire. Saul and Moses, I have Amaru for a lot of the similar reasons that Matt was saying. I want to see Amaru. I want to see my man succeed. And Jeff had mentioned something in regards to their level of competition. I think Amaru's faced off against better people this year. I like the Real Rejects. Like, yeah, I love them. They're great. But Amaru had Jesse and Moose Haas. And Moose Haas was the talk of the town for a minute after his match against Wittenbin. So try to put that out there. I got Moses. I got Demolanta retaining against Kelly because I really want to see Demolanta and Harper. I want to see that really, really bad. And plus, if Suge was here, he would be like, "Oh, like yeah, I got Demolanta. Oh yeah, I got Demolanta."
Suge would come on here and just be like, "I got Harper winning." Harper's not even playing, motherfucker.
Right. And then Harper's gonna get that ass or whatever the hell. Yeah. So I got Demolanta retaining, so Harper can face him later. Corruption and Shazam. Actually, I'll tie these next two together.
Yeah.
Corruption, I think they're gonna have a great night. Corruption, they've been killing it, and I've been waiting to see this McKee match with Kevin Smith. Marisol is one of the better, if not one of the best, players in the league, rocking right now. She is on fire with some stellar performances, even in losses. Like, I know that Deception loss was like, oh, yo, the Deception lost. Marisol knew what was up. She knew the correct answer. She was there. She was rocking. Marisol, I got her besting Kevin Smith, and I got Corruption. I think Corruption's going to pull this one out. I have a good feeling. And I know the last time these guys were going in multiple divisions at once, it wasn't too easy. It was actually very hard for both of them, and with Mike and Chance. But I like to think that Mikey Two Belts will come back, and we're going to see a virtual Mikey Two Belts, which could arguably be way more irritating for some folks than in studio Mikey Two Belts.
I ain't worried,
and we'll see. We'll see. I'm really looking forward to this Corruption match, and I echo a lot of Jeff's sentiments. Like, people sleep on Mike, and I know we talked about it on the show before that Chance is the better teams player, the better singles player, whatever. But Mike's still pretty damn good at what he does, and I got Corruption winning both their matches on Saturday. It's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a very good show. Come hang out with us after the fact. Schmoe Me the Money channel at 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific. We're rocking.
Yeah, and with that, that's the show.
Oh, by the way, Real Size of the Week, Tarantino. What's up, Paige? Just want to put that out there.
I actually had Tarantino also because she killed it.
That Rachel did great with Lucasfilm. Shout out to Jen in Wizarding World. Loved that for her. And Opponent's Choice. At least acknowledge it at least one time for the one time. But big love. Right. There's a lot of great Will Slices this week, but I know we're already running long.
Yeah. So with that, just the housekeeping. Tomorrow, Watt Real Sports, NBA draft preview, and the Olympics update, whatever you want to call it. And also, as of today, we will expand to more teams if we get more interest. But the Watt Fantasy Football League is live. We are through SleeperBot. If you are a part of our Discord, which if you aren't a part of our Discord, you're really missing out. That link will be posted there shortly, so you can actually join the league if you're interested. Watt Fantasy Football, trying to get as many fans and Schmoedown competitors in there as possible. Wednesday, the new episode of Real Geek Core.
You already know, baby. The Real Geek Core coming at you Wednesday, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central. So we had a little bit of a switch up on the show. We were initially going to do some spoiler-free thoughts of Snake Eyes, but we changed some things around. We're going to be talking some news on the program. We're going to be the big piece that I'm really excited about, we're going to be ranking the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Connor and myself. But if you hang out with us there in the chat, you'll be our tiebreaker. So coming out with us, Real Geek Core, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central, this upcoming Wednesday, the RGC Issue 2. We're coming at you hot. RGC, you already know where the party's at.
If you don't start that rank list till like 9:30, I might actually be able to make that because we'll
see.
Yeah. So Thursday, nothing there right now, but eventually our baby Really Scared will be coming back with your hosts Taylor Cleek and Connor Breedlove. Really excited to get both of them back in the fold fairly soon to bring you all your spooky goodness. Friday, Chris, pre-recorded this week. Correct, or is it a week off? Because I remember you and Nick were talking about it because Nick's going out.
As far as I'm concerned, Wrestle Real will be happening in some capacity this upcoming Friday. 6 o'clock Eastern, 5 p.m. Central. Wrestle Real, the latest and greatest in wrestling. I know last week we had a killer show with my boy Jacob Pickett, so you can go ahead and check that out on the channel. But Wrestle Real will happen in some capacity this upcoming Friday. How? Chris don't know at the moment. Schedules are changing. I know my schedule just got turned on its damn head. So who the hell knows what's going on? But Wrestle Real, 6 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Central, Fridays.
And then Saturday on this channel at 8 p.m., Saber Reels, hosted by Toby Barkwell, myself, and Colin Morris. I won't be there this week, but Colin and Toby are going to hold it down as they always do and talk to you about the latest Bad Batch episode and the latest and greatest in the Star Wars universe. Sunday, Real Talk this past week, Nick interviewed people who did the Cleveland 48-hour film project. If you don't know what the 48-hour film project is, go watch that episode, and maybe you yourself should get involved in your local 48-hour film project. But this Sunday, we will be talking about none other then Jungle Cruise and Green Knight got a double review discussion going on this Sunday. Really excited. I've seen one of these films. I see the other one tomorrow. I'm not saying which one's which, but I'm excited to get into all my spoilery thoughts with y'all on Sunday. And then, of course, you got us here, replace the white guy with a Hispanic, and you got Spin from the Reel next Monday.
Damn, I don't like how you said a Hispanic, but you know what? I'll take it. Every I know, no hard feelings, man. But that is just the white version of Shook down there. Jeff, where can the people find you, brother?
You could find me at GEOFF1106. That is at Jeff1106. That is my Twitter handle. You could also find our show Schmo Me the Money on YouTube. We do our shows. Our main shows are on Tuesdays. We normally have panels, but for the last 2 months, we've been slacking hard. So it's just been my co-host, Brandon Buckingham. Buck and I have been just kind of talking about matches, sort of like how we talk about stuff in here too. But it's the two of us talking about stuff. However, we will have a panel very soon. It's going to be a fun one, hopefully.
Return to form, baby?
Return to form for at least a week, and then we'll forget about it again. It all depends on how consistent the Schmoedown wants to release its schedules. Other than that, I don't even know what else we're doing. We got our Collision after party with you guys here for the Schmo Me the Real.
Hoping you're on Green Knight this Sunday.
I'm hoping that I'll see. There might be something that I have to do on Sunday. So I'm going to remain non-committal.
Of course.
But I'm non-committal to everything. I'm even non-committal to this. This like life. And
yes.
What else is there? Like that's our main show, the Tuesday one. We don't have any, like we just started doing trailer reactions, like so we're gonna do that every now and then. If the mood hits, we just did our first one for Dune. That was a fun one to do, and that's really it. To have some ideas percolating on things that we're gonna do in the future. I've been working on and off. Hopefully, you guys will be able to see it soon with AJ Lancaster of the What the Show podcast. We've been developing an Airbud podcast. Each episode is about a different entry in the Airbud franchise. We have like a few of them recorded already, and we can't wait to record more. It's going to be fun.
And you can catch Jeff on the previously mentioned For Chris's Sake this week.
Oh yes,
myself, Jeff, and fellow Water. We're gonna rock with that. Colin Morris. We talked Ted Lasso for like an hour and a half. And,
he's a WAP boy.
It was a fellow WAP boy, and we talked Ted Lasso, and that should be released tonight because I had a bunch of stuff go up this morning. So real For Chris's Sake backlog just got regurgitated on my stream today. So For Chris's Sake, wherever you find your podcast, FORCHRIS _SAKE, you can find Jeff and Colin on that this week.
And also,
go ahead.
Before we forget, we haven't plugged it in a while. Buy your merch, people. Buy your merch. Don't get it twisted. Spin from the Reel, not the peg. All the other cool WAP merch we got up there. So, I gotta plug that. We gotta plug that. We want to be able to go to Spectacular and see people wearing some Spin from the Reel.
If I see a damn Spin from the Reel shirt that's not on our bodies at Spectacular, I'll cry. I will cry. You want to make me cry? You can make me cry.
Chris will buy you a drink too.
Why the hell not? I know a lot of folks. I'm excited for Spectacular. Jeff and I mentioned it at the top of the show, and I will say it again here for the sake of it. I know they're requiring vaccinations for the August Scum and Villainy shows that they're doing. If we get to that point in December, I really hope that we still get to go to Spectacular and we get to hang out with everybody. And who knows what the Schmo Me the Reel is going to look like if we even do one around the Spectacular time. Maybe we'll do a pre-show. Maybe, who knows? But
depends.
But big love to everybody. We hope to see everybody there. And who knows? Maybe we can see y'all in New York if that still happens. If that's still happening, depending on what's going on in the world. But we're excited. We have a lot of fun stuff planned on Watts and on Spin from the Reel, Schmo Me the Money, Schmo Me the Reel, all that fun stuff. Subscribe, people. Subscribe.
Yes. And with that being said, remember, Spin from the Reel, not the peg. Have a good night.